Okay.
Welcome back, magical boys and girls, to another episode of Subtitled Opinions. I'm Nick.
I'm Gus.
I am Daniel.
And I'm Nicole, and I'm the host of today's episode. So, today we're talking about Madoka Magica, or whatever you want to call it. The 3 movies, not the show.
Madoka Magica.
That was so funny.
This guy's funny.
Starting it off with a bang.
This guy is hilarious.
Do you
Yeah.
want to give your rundown of it, or can I give some first impressions?
I'll give my rundown. So,
Yeah.
I chose for us to watch Madoka because, while it is not my favorite anime, I think it is a very interesting anime. And I didn't know how any of you would respond to it. So, I was curious. So, that is what I would like to hear today.
Well, you're gonna find out exactly how we responded to it. As
No way.
as you might know, I took some notes in the time between literally falling asleep watching some of these movies. So let's see. I'm kidding. I totally watched them all. I did, actually. I'm not memeing. I watched them all. I just finished the last one like 10 minutes before we started this.
Made egg fried rice while watching the last one.
There was a hot bit on the second one where I had it dubbed and at like 1.25 speed. So for starters, I'll go through some of my notes. Studio Shaft, as always, absolute crackheads with the animation. They again above and beyond. That shit was nuts. In the first movie,
Shaft and nuts.
yeah,
Both.
We should preface
Let's
this:
go.
we watched the movies, not the show. Even
The
though I
show-
think they're the same,
But
right?
the show basically is the first movie and like 3/4 of the second movie.
Okay, but
Yeah,
yeah, we
so-
watched the movies 1, 2, and 3 instead of the show.
Yes.
My first note was the bathroom and the clock. Definitely, I was like, that's Shaft.
Oh yeah.
Like, having watched Monogatari, I was like,
They did
Shaft for sure.
Monogatari?
Yeah, same studio.
It makes
There's
a lot more
there is
sense now.
such an epic collab. The Monogatari figures. Oh, they're peak.
Yeah.
Really.
Also, Claris, who did the opening? I know they at least did the first opening. Also bangers. So, how to get into some of these? So first, I caught the Homura is Senjo Gahara's voice actor. I caught
Oh,
that
yeah.
right off the bat. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah. I caught that one
Okay,
too.
yeah. If you had watched Monogatari, that part was pretty.
Oh,
I was
Um,
capping. I didn't catch it.
Then we got, let's see. Okay. I'm just gonna read some stuff off here, Nicole, and let me get through a couple of them before
Okay.
we get some constructive
Okay.
criticism going here. And I'll go word for word. I won't elaborate on this. Is just my thoughts as I was watching them.
Go for it.
The first movie was mad boring. That's all I wrote down. Then I said, this was after I finished it. I said, if I wasn't watching this for the podcast, I would have dropped it after the first movie. Like if I had, because it was on my to watch list. Because obviously, like it's super, like everyone hypes it up. So I was like, this shit gonna be good. Had I been watching it on my own, there were a couple points that I would have had to cross to not drop the show. But the first episode, maybe 3/4 of the way was the first one. I don't know if any of you guys were more entertained by the first episode.
It's not a very entertaining first movie. It's
Or
very
first movie.
Pretty bland.
yeah.
That's all I can say. It's like
I was fine. I feel like things rambled a bit.
Yeah.
How bad, Gus? What's up?
there was a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
agree
make
with
a
that.
metaphor, but then my metaphor was shit, so I didn't say it.
Not enough English class. STEM majors.
I wrote down that they say the same thing 3 different times
Yeah.
in the first movie.
Yeah.
Which part?
It's on my notes. I don't know when. I was just like, wow, they're really saying like the same theme. Like they're really driving that home. It was like when your like teachers like, hey, always call back to your thesis statement, and you just write the different worded thesis statement like 30 times. That's what it felt like in some of the
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah.
I do remember that now. Also, these are my finalized notes. I've got a page of. I made everything a lot more concise. If you just want me to go through those, actually.
Bro,
No, go
there's
through the
something
original
wrong with
one.
you.
Okay, we'll go through the original.
Go through the original
We'll
ones.
stop skipping them. We'll stop skipping.
I want to hear this unfiltered.
I'll just start going through them. If I wasn't watching this podcast, we'll drop it at the first movie. Then I said Tsubasa Homura. Whether or not that was
Really?
intentional. When she comes back in the second movie and she's got the braids and the stuff in them and
Yeah.
the glasses, like
Yeah,
either they knew what they were doing or they didn't, and it was a coincidence. But I noticed
Yeah.
that. Then
I think.
we got this timeline is confusing. I was hella confused.
Mhm.
That was all I took for movie 2. Then I said movie 3 is Warner Bros. Were they all? Because I
no,
know-
I literally thought that because
They weren't.
it had the funny opening thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
real?
I don't know why it was.
Was it actually
yeah,
Warner Bros.? Okay.
it is,
Okay.
but I don't know why.
Then we've got. I must have gone back because my next note on movie 3 is I'm watching movie 3 dubbed. Don't know what triggered that, but I was not watching that shit subbed. There was no way. Then I wrote this in all caps actually. I said, "What is this damn timeline?" Which I will say, it came back together. I figured it out towards the end.
I
The
didn't.
the beginning was kind of confusing, but then we get into my next note, which is I did a lot of comparing it to Monogatari because that's in the same,
Yeah.
they're sort of in the same realm.
That's fair.
And I haven't watched
See,
any Mahou
we've got
shoujo.
2 losers here
Yeah,
who don't
No,
understand.
there are 2 losers.
yeah.
There are 2 big ass losers.
You can look at it.
Good
from either
point. Good
side.
point.
But well, and more so just because I haven't watched any Mahou shoujo, so
Yeah.
it was the closest thing I had to base off of.
I've read some.
And unless you count the little tidbits we got in the newest Dress Up Darling episode, those were
Man,
That's embarrassing.
you're
That was
cultured.
one of the most embarrassing moments.
You
That
are
was-
missing out. Honestly, I'm more hyped for those episodes than Attack on Titan. Easy. Anyways, getting off topic.
That's a statement.
I said
Wow.
Monogatari was good confusing. Like confusing, but it was like it helped the plot that it was, or it benefited the plot that it was confusing. And I said, this is bad. I also ran out of room on the thing, so I think I was kind of summing it up a little bit, but we got this is bad. I actually wrote dad, but I know that I meant bad. Then we got which from movie 1 is in movie 3, but is good. This was obviously before I figured out movie 3. I was just writing as I was figuring stuff out. And then we got my last not final note, which is this cake nursery rhyme is tempting me to give up at movie 3 even for the podcast.
Take this around.
That shit
so
was
stressful.
so annoying. I was
I
sitting
got
there
that on
like
repeat.
No, you.
I was sitting there hovering over the X out, like legitimately. I was like, who's gonna know at this point if I just say I was confused by movie 3 and don't watch the rest of it? Honestly, that was my tipping point.
That's
made it.
fair.
I persevered.
That's a
but
hard tipping point.
That was close.
I struggled with that point. Yeah.
Those are my unfiltered notes. That
You
are
got
my
no notes
thoughts.
on the rest of movie 3?
Okay. Let me get some swings in on this. My notes are baller.
Okay.
This is all only movie 1. I did not take notes because I was trying to understand what was going on in 3
Okay.
at the very least. In 3.
Some of 3.
No, 3. I was trying to understand 3.
That's fair.
I
We
was
were
there the whole-
discussing it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They say the same in movie 1. They say the same thing 3 times. Acid trip time ? And then I said the animation looks like a mix of like collages as well as like projections, like a projector screen everywhere. Mommy's first magical transformation is underwhelming because she really just got like a different school uniform, in my opinion. An
No,
anime
it's
school
cowgirl themed. Whoa.
Is
It's
that what
cowgirl
that is?
themed. Yeah. Did you not notice? It took me a while. I only
It didn't
noticed
really
it in the
look like
third
it at
movie on my
all.
second watch.
Where's
But
the
she's got cowboy
hat?
boots, and the idea is she uses cowboy guns.
I wait,
Which is
Daniel.
got, like,
I
And she also has a lasso with like.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Her
I had the
hair, maybe?
same thought though, except
Mhm.
not about mommy. I had it about Homura.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
all
that
she
too. That
gets
also
is the
looks like-
shield, and then she just stays
Yeah.
the same.
Is
Her
that
uniform
supposed
is
to be
very
a
underwhelming.
big ass watch? Is that really a shield?
It's a oh, you're kind of
Ooh,
right. I didn't
Both,
realize
could
that.
say.
It's
Yeah.
the Schwatch.
Okay, can we? And then I was like, it feels like I've been watching this for hours. It's only 25 minutes because I have a very short attention span. Again,
it's long.
I am the shonen enjoyer. There wasn't shonen occurring for a long time,
In
and the
fact,
fight
there's
There are
an
scenes.
like
opposite.
2 men. There are 2 men in
Not,
all
not
of
even,
Madoka.
but like just like the
I
fighting,
hated
like
both
any
of them.
action. Oh, I did say the kid in the hospital is a little bitch boy.
I
The
hate that
violinist?
dude.
I
I
thought,
hate
Yeah.
him.
I thought mommy's like abilities were cool. I compared her to Reaper from Overwatch, where she would use guns and then be like, "This gun's done," throw it, and then grab new ones. And I was like, "This is awesome." But the whole show is this, and then they
It
just
wasn't.
yeah, and then they just went in. I'm like, "Oh, cool! My favorite character with the fighting is gone." I'm like, "Great!" And
L.
it took a turn because I really don't like psychological or horror or anything like that, and I also don't really care for magical girls, and this was both of those. So I was like, "This isn't my up my alley." And then I said, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Mommy is fucking dead." And then I said, "I don't really like magical girl animes."
Mommy is dead. There's gotta be a good reference you can pull out of that.
Kid in the hospital's a bitch boy. I bet mentally ill people love this. Oh dang, really fighting for an hour. Oh dang, fighting actually happened an hour and 60 minutes in. This show is so fucked for no reason. I would like to say I don't understand what was going on at all.
I can
Like-
give a brief explanation.
Here, please do, please do.
Okay.
Nicole,
so
before
wait.
you fully explain it, can I take a stab at what I thought it was?
Yeah, go
Because
for
that
it.
might give them more insight. So, obviously, in the start, like because the thing is, there's hella timelines. Like that was what got confusing towards the end, or got less confusing as it went on. But at the start, you got the main timeline, and then somewhere, movie 1 is all the same timeline, correct? Okay. Then you get to movie 2, and you go back. You go back to the original timeline. And then movie 2 just sort of starts skipping through them because you're watching Homura try and save Madoka over and over again, but it never works, so she just keeps sort of restarting it. So you kind of just keep going through that. And then movie 3, I thought was a separate timeline at the start, but it turns out it's not. It was something else that I don't know really. Wait, no, because it was...
So, let me explain. So what happened is that movie 1 is all one timeline. Then movie 2 happens, and you get the recap of Homura going back over time, over and over, to try and save Madoka. And then in movie 2, what happens after that is Madoka does the thing where she like resets the universe and becomes a god. And
Jojo
that's
reference?
okay. Cool. Continuing on. Then
Wait, a what
she-
reference? I missed that.
JoJo's.
Oh, interesting.
bit of a reach.
Not gonna give any more explanation. Don't want to spoil
No
anything.
elaboration.
But then that's kind of a new timeline. Yeah, that is a new timeline because Madoka doesn't exist in that world, and they don't fight witches anymore. They fight wraiths. And then in the after credit scene in the second movie, you get some context as to what the third movie is. The third movie starts, they're in a different world and they're fighting nightmares, right?
Can I pause for a second?
Yes.
Let's hypothetically say the minute the credits started rolling in the second movie, I X'd out of it and went to the next one.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, what would I have missed?
So basically, it's like Homura goes outside of town, and she's like in the area where, you know, in the third movie, how she's in that, like, she's being kept
The outside of town
by
thing,
QB. Yeah, she goes there in the after credit scene.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That would have made the start a little bit clearer.
Yeah. So, but you still don't really know what's going on when you start the third movie. They're just in a different timeline, and that's because holy fuck my alarm. I'm so sorry. Anyways, she is being kept by QB.
I
As,
hate
like-
that bitch.
Yeah, facts. Fuck QB. But she's being kept in like a containment to see what happens with the tainted soul gem, whatever. That was the whole plot point in the third movie. So she's created her own internal world, and that's what the third movie is about. And she like brought everyone into it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Akemi, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Okay, I get it.
And then at the end, they're like, okay, well they're like, now we understand what Homura has done, and we're gonna fix this. And they bring Madoka, and she pulls up, and they were like, everything will be fine. And then Homura says, I'm taking over, and goes devil mode. And then she's created Devil Homura world.
But didn't...
Are there after credits in the third movie?
Nope, there's a fourth movie that has not come out yet. That is why.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Bruh,
crazy.
This is a certified
Can't wait to not watch it. I guess the ending of movie 3, okay. It kind of goes into some of my final thoughts on the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I'll save that until we get some more out there
Yeah.
Good.
before I ruthlessly berate the entire show.
That's cute. So
Heck general. I put my thoughts.
Homura,
That's the JoJo's reference right there.
God. Okay.
Facts.
God. Madoka comes down.
God.
Yeah. God.
And God comes down, and then Akemi is just like, I am selfish, and my soul is like hyper tainted because they're like, we're
No,
just gonna
she's
let that.
like, she's like, I'm in love,
So she's.
and I don't want anyone else to have Madoka.
So that's called selfishness, but it's selfish.
Nah,
It's
you wouldn't
selfish.
get it, bro.
You wouldn't get it,
No,
Daniel.
no. It's selfishness,
I'm
but
with
like
Daniel
people
on
can
this one.
justify it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
It's like me and
selfishness, but like,
JoJo's.
but you could. It's like what? It's like
It was
you
a
and
metaphor. You wouldn't get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a shonen enjoyer. We miss those things. So she's like, I'm selfish, but I'm in love, so it's fine. And I'm just gonna take a god, and then like, does she make like she becomes a dope demon form and goes and
He
like.
turns Devil Homura, and then
I love that. She was such a boss, like talking to a blue hair side character that I don't care about.
I liked her drink.
yeah, it looked good.
It was purple. Yo, check general though. Then this scene happened. It's a JoJo's reference. Come on, that's Polnareff.
I did. That is.
Face.
Even the hair. Even the hair.
I will say I got snapped back into full 100% attention mode in the last like 15 minutes of the third movie when there was like a purple sidewalk and the purple drink that she had, and for whatever reason, because my For You page is just full of those lean memes, I saw that and my brain was like, I know what's going on here.
So does she just make her own world and pull real people into
Yeah.
it?
It's what she did the first time, and now she's doing it again.
Well, question about that then. Because then Madoka showed up as like a transfer student and then like went god mode again, and the movie just fucking ended. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell happened at the end?
Yeah, so
Was it kind of like it's like it was sort of like the original world that you see, except without Homura and without like Madoka ever having been god, or like no one remembered it at least, and no one remembered about like the whole magical girl thing.
yeah, like that was what
No, I mean
Homura created.
the end thing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but what happened is like she pulled Madoka into that world and was like, you forget about everything and that you are a god and all that. And in that moment, Madoka remembered and Homura stopped her. Like, that's what happened. Like, she used her devil.
And then movie 4 happened.
Yeah.
That one goes crazy.
So
That one was so good.
premise
I just made it up in my mind.
Okay. There's this what's QB?
Yeah.
So there's this
Bitch boy.
there's a webkins that turns people, that's like a sentient like celestial being in a stupid ass webkins.
Oh,
That
I
turns-
saw an explanation of this. He climbed into a cat. You know how it's a cat with flappy things out the ears?
Yeah.
That's
Something
why he
that
said he
climbed
has
into
like
a cat.
so many samples.
Yeah,
When
he
he
just
got
climbs
when he got
into a cat.
capped. Top 10
Yeah.
moments of Madoka Magica, by the way. Number 1, Kyuubi gets capped.
You
I
know
like
when
the
like
part in movie 3 where he looks all scrunkly.
I like the ones
Like,
where there's like 100 QBs and they just nuke them.
yeah,
I was like,
that was
yeah.
good.
So
I
the
will say
premise,
the high point of the whole series of movies was like the end of movie 3 was in like worth watching to me.
Yeah.
True.
Just watch that part. Other movies, like, it's background stuff.
QB manipulates teenage girls by saying they can wish for something that become magical girls. The magical girls have their soul detached in a little cute little jewelry
Egg.
thing. Yeah, and an egg.
Fabergé egg.
And then
It's
humans
literally
make
a Fabergé egg.
human emotions make familiars, which then become witches after they kill people. And then when the witches, well, they said that the familiars, like
Yeah.
when they, yeah. So then the witches make a labyrinth. Magical girls go in the labyrinth. They get like a puppet body almost because their soul is detached, and they're like, "Oh, that's really messed up." But QB's like, "That actually makes sense." Anyway, they fight the witches. Then when the witches die, they have a core, and the core like takes
It's
the
like
bad.
it's the tainted soul gem.
Yeah.
So it takes the bad vibes out of their soul. Why does their soul go bad? Like, what's the
Because
expiration date of that
desire.
shit?
Desire. Maybe
It,
like
like-
malice. Like,
It
is
might
it
be
their
the
anger?
7 deadly
emotions?
sins.
yeah.
The magical
Okay.
girls. Because if
Referencing
you remember,
Peak.
when the Polnareff girl turned into a
Sayaka.
witch, it was because who? Polnareff?
Sayaka.
Yeah. Uh, she was jealous of fucking Violin Boy and
Yeah.
the fucking
And she got
vine
pissed
hair
at,
girl.
she got pissed at the world. Vine.
Yeah. Then she started
I don't
molding. She
know.
went Doomer mode, full Aaron Yeager.
I might
And she
be
mauled those MFs on the train. A girl boss moment.
I might be a little like snarky, a little bit of a smartass, but why would you go to like middle school like girls and then be like, you can't have
They
emotions?
mentioned it. They did
Because-
mention why they picked them, and it was
They
because
did?
they said adolescent girls have the biggest swing in emotions, like their emotions, because they
But
care
don't you-
about like
Can't
somehow
confirm.
entropy is like
That entropy
The
explanation was
entropy.
lame.
yeah. So what they described entropy as basically was like changing emotions, which that's not what it is. Anyways, they
Madoka
said that
after inventing an explanation for
adolescent
entropy.
girls have like the biggest swings in emotions, from good emotions to bad emotions, and that's what the incubators need.
But I feel like that would be negative, like in a bad way, because if you are negative, you become a witch. Oh, but
No,
don't
but
they want
they're
that?
collecting
They
the
want
emotional
that.
energy.
They
They're collecting
want-
the emotional energy.
So the
That's-
Webkins feed off emotional energy, and by doing so, they do a war of attrition via magical girls and witches. But all magical girls
Yeah.
eventually become witches, and then our homegirl Homura.
Other one.
What?
Madoka.
No, I'm thinking of Homura with the time thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to fix time so that everything turns out correctly. So it's very re-zero in that sense. Can't wait for that episode.
Yeah.
And then her soul gets tainted, and then she creates an entire world because she wants things to work out. And then she becomes selfish. I mean, she falls in love and wants to pull Homura from God form.
No,
And
but
then-
here's the thing. So the
Yeah.
reason Homer gains the power to restart things
she
is
wishes-
because she wants to save Madoka. Like, that's why she has her power. And
Oh, that was her wish.
yeah, and
Okay.
the reason Madoka is so powerful is because of Homura always repeating time. And
Okay.
she's created so much potential for Madoka over all the times she's
Is that like
redone.
also why her soul gem became like specially tainted?
Yeah, and it's also it's because of that, and it's also like because like the one explanation of like the reason Homura keeps going is that she knows when she gives up, she's going to turn into the biggest witch. I think that was like a mention somewhere.
Again.
Yeah,
End of movie 3, like her soul at the end when it became like the like a queen's chess piece, like the top of it, that looked dope. Like that was so cool, and I'm like, all right, I can forget about everything I had to go through before this. This is a banger.
See, here's
So
the thing. This is why my thing about Madoka. I agree. The first movie is boring, and so is some of the second movie. But the third movie is worth it, in my mind. But you can't get the range of it if you don't understand the beginning, the origins.
So, hypothetically, it is bringing me physical pain to not start going through my final thoughts list.
no, keep feeling pain. So and the third one, my
Now you know
shonen.
what it's like to be one of the magical girls.
Yeah, no,
now you
this
get
is
it.
that's part of it. Is as we talk about things, I can't join in without having to go through my full thoughts. Okay, so there's no good
That's something
way.
to cut out.
There's no good way. This is not painting the show in a good light, and just be prepped for that. These are my final notes in their almost entirety. I've got one on my phone because I was in the bathroom and thought of something else. I came in to this with like hype's a fine word for it, from both online and from you saying it was super good, and from its shaft and Monogatari's shaft. So trusting that it was going to be, banger, because everyone said it was amazing. Here were my problems with it. I didn't like or really find any of the characters more interesting than, say, to me, any side character in just a generic slice of life. Like, none of the characters had that much of an impact on me. The plot twists that it was going for, they don't hit very hard, other than maybe like one in movie 3, and half of them I could just predict before they even happened. Another big thing that, even if you look it up, this like reviews about it, is everyone's like, oh, it's like a dark, like psychological horror. It was dark, but not in like a well fleshed out way. Like, all the dark parts were, in my mind, super forced. Like, none of them flowed with the story. They were like, blah, 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 here's a story. Oh my god, she just found out about what makes witches and shot one of her friends. Like, what? That is such a stupid thing to do. Like, she would, based on everything we know about her character, the last thing she would do is go, we're all gonna turn into witches. Blam. Like, what the heck? Okay, that part was annoying.
When did that happen?
Real shit.
It was
Second
Mommy.
movie.
In the second movie, Mommy finds out that they turn into witches and just
Oh.
absolutely caps the other one. And I
Which
was
one
sitting
is
there
it?
like,
I don't
Homura.
the one with the
It's
red hair.
Homura,
No, it was
right?
the one with the red hair.
No, Sayak. No, that's not
No,
Sayaka.
the other
I don't know
one.
what her name is.
Kyoko.
I forget her fucking Kyoka. That's her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spear
She, like,
tomboy.
Yeah, she like
Is that
found
funny?
out. She was like, oh, we all turn into witches if our soul gems break, and then just turned, shot Kyoko, and then someone killed her. And I was just like, that was not even like remotely like, oh my god, plot twist, oh my god, it's so dark. Like, no, that was so forced. Then I've got the thing, they tried to do the confusing timeline trope, but they failed to make it interesting, and it only really just spiraled into a confusing mess. The one good thing I had about it is Shaft does good artwork, and the artwork really brought out the few good parts that were the show. And then there was very little buildup to Madoka. Honestly, her character sucked. She went from like a useless main character to, in like 5 minutes, oh my god, she's the most powerful being ever. And then that was just it.
As explained though.
It was still just like, she still went from stupid trope of crying main character that can't do anything on her own, and then all of a sudden they were like,
It's Deku.
it's like Deku, except Deku put in a little bit of work to become where he was. Madoka just cried, and then all of a sudden turned into
Okay, come
God.
on now. He ate a motherfucking hair, and then he became fucking Superman. All right.
No, but he had,
Deku was letting this
he
shit.
had to train a little
No,
bit.
he went to Planet Fitness and they're like, all right, eat my hair now. And then they're like, let's go.
And then
We're
my
gonna
last,
get one of those.
my last notes from my phone. As an overall, I just felt that all the aspects that it was going for, it really just tried too hard to be all of them, and that was, I think, its biggest detriment. I've watched, read, and enjoyed a lot of horror and psychological horror stuff. but none of it had to try to be dark. It was just written in a way that how the plot progressed was dark and horror-ish. Whereas this one, it really, every time it got dark, it really felt like they were sort of forcing that at you. And the last thing, I was like, as an overall, I was pretty disappointed in it, knowing that it was the same author, or I guess, I don't know if you could say author, but writer as Fate Zero, which obviously isn't like the greatest piece of literature ever, but it doesn't suck. And so maybe it's because he doesn't know how to really write, or he doesn't write. I don't know which one came first, but either he tried this first and was like, oh, guess I'll start writing shonen now, and then went ahead and did that. Or he went the other way around and tried dipping his feet into the magical girl pool, and I hope that he dried that foot off and then never touched a pool again. But yeah, I also wouldn't say that I'm the biggest magical girl fan, so take that with a grain of salt. But those are my final thoughts on the whole thing.
That's definitely an opinion.
Yeah, you're allowed to have that.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but
interesting. I'd like to know why.
Oh, I'm not the person to talk on this. Again, like movie 3, when Akemi and Mami are fighting with like all the guns. Also, do all magical girls, can they just summon weapons or something? Or did she just have straps on her? Like, legitimately, Akemi was just like pulling out guns like from nowhere. And I was like, where are you keeping those? So I'm just assuming it's magical.
Dude, forgot the scene in the first movie where she robbed police station? I don't know where she was robbed.
I guess I did.
Yeah,
miss
did
that.
you? She froze time and
that.
This is
she froze
first
time and
Mommy froze time?
No, Homura.
Oh no, I remember that part. That wasn't in the first movie, was it? That was in like the second or third.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But anyway, when they're fighting each other, that was hype. Because I'm a huge sucker for like well choreographed, very fast action, and that with guns is hard to do, and they did a really good job. And I was like, this is awesome. And then she was gonna like shoot herself in the head, and then Mommy's like, I'll stop you right there. And then she's like, it was actually bait. And Mommy's like, I also knew that. And then I was like, what the fuck? So that was really enjoyable. My shonen neurons were just like firing, and then they stopped. And I was like, okay. So
honestly, for me, the fight scenes were like one of my least favorite parts.
Yeah.
Well, it was just that one in movie 3. The other ones were kind of
that one is. Oh, okay. I agree. The movie 3, that one is good. I liked that fight scene. But other than that.
Yeah, the fights kind of had like the emotional impact of, you know, the isekais that come out like every month that have like magical circles.
That's
they just hold out both hands and then a circle of a color appears. It's like, this one's blue, so it's perfectly shaped icicles. Or like, this one's green, so it's like one singular like vine. And like, that's the magical, that's the impact it had on me.
Yeah.
I was rocking with the show, and then all of a sudden, like, someone's head got taken off, and I was like, oh. I was really ready for, like, a very cute, very nice, fun to watch magical girl anime, and this was not nice. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't nice, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the best first jump into the genre.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm, because I do agree with some of your points, Nick, but I think the thing that you're missing is the context, because like it is a really cool subversion of the magical girl genre, and a lot of the like.
Oh, I mean, most
like a lot of the explanations for like the dark things that happen are more like emotional and related to other emotional things that happen in most magical girl anime.
Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of my notes were not critiquing it as a magical one because obviously I haven't seen any, so I have no basis to make any judgment on. It was more the genres that, not that I'm like interpreting it as, but that it's legitimately labeled as. Like if you search psychological horror anime, it shows up. If you search dark anime, it shows up. If you search horror anime, it shows up on those.
Well, I think I think the thing is like the darkness comes from like, okay, This sounds kind of mean. I'm sorry. But the darkness comes from, like, an experience that you don't understand. Like,
That seems like a cop out. If you
no, I don't think
explain
so.
if you explain that, I'm willing to entertain it.
Because I think Madoka is very much about girlhood and misogyny. And maybe, like, there's no way you would understand that. But, like,
There's no way for that to
Yeah.
be a debate that occurs unless I actually want to try to pull shit out of my
Yeah,
actual
Nicole,
hat.
I don't think you understand what misogyny is, actually.
I don't think you understand what girlhood is.
I was
think
taking a
I
sh-
didn't get it. As a misogynist, I know all about misogyny.
get that. I feel like this movie would be a lot more like interesting if I came out of like Sailor Moon or like watching
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
insert other popular like magical girl anime, and then also
Yeah.
went to this and be like, oh, it's like watching
like-
Isekai and then going to Re:Zero. Like
That's
that type of
facts.
thing.
Like, what coming from, like, Cardcaptor Sakura and then watching this is...
I do think, Nicole, your point about like the deeper understanding of it is completely valid, and I think it's right. And I also think that that's the reason why I didn't enjoy it. Is
Yeah, that's
if you need a deeper level of
Understand.
if you need to basically have experienced girlhood to enjoy this, then or fully enjoy it,
Well,
then I think
I could
it's-
say the same thing for watching an ecchi isekai.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't enjoy it because I'm not a man. Or I don't...
enjoy it because
like-
I like things that are fucking not garbage.
I think that's a bad take, Nick, because like it's like this is bad because it
I'm not. No,
requires you.
I'm not
What were
saying
you
that that's
saying
the only
then?
reason. I'm saying that I agree with her point that I can't appreciate the values that she finds in it because they don't resonate with me. They don't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
I
but...
think that this show is like one of the books you have to read for an English class.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like moderately enjoyable to read, but when you like analyze it, it's really interesting. Because
Yeah.
like when I came into this episode, I was like, this show is like in the 4 to 6 range. And like
Yeah.
as we've discussed it, I'm like, okay, maybe a 7, maybe an 8 if I'm feeling it. The vibes
Yeah.
just improve.
Yeah.
And also I
Yeah.
forget the bad parts because like I wasn't paying attention.
See, that happens to me too.
Part of it,
You
I
tune them
think-
out.
I think part of it could also be, I don't know if, I feel like we all have experienced this, but it gets
Misogyny.
harder. Yeah, truly. We all, every day,
Every day.
experience the doing of it. I think that, I won't speak for you guys, but for myself at least, it, compared to even just a couple years ago, it's so much harder to like sit down and just binge shows. Like Daniel, you were mentioning with the attention span thing.
Mhm.
And maybe my opinion would have been a little bit different if we had watched the show. Like,
Show is not as good.
Ugh,
Ugh.
that's worrisome.
Yeah, I
But
think the
for
show
me-
is not as good.
For me, part of it was like, I don't know, I don't watch that many movies nowadays, and for like my attention span to sit down and commit and be like, all right, right now, 2 hours of my time fully to this. Like, even if I could sit down and binge 2 hours worth of a show, but I'm still getting like that little break mentally where I'm clicking on the next episode or something.
Yeah.
So that could, like, I think there's a lot of factors that amount to my general.
I think that's fair.
I wouldn't, like, I'm not going to go out and say, I hate. Okay. I won't fully go out and say, I hate Madoka Magica. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. I wish I didn't watch that. Like, it, in the fullest sense of the word, it was okay to me. I wasn't
It was-
like, I
It was a
wasn't ever,
5
yeah. I
on my
wasn't
grading
ever,
scale.
I gave the third movie like a 6 or a 7.
I gave it a 6. Yeah.
I was never sitting there like, oh, come on, beat this witch. But I also, at least in the second
not that
two
kind of
movies,
way, though.
in the second 2 movies, I also wasn't ever sitting there like, so I don't know. It was a good middle ground. Like, It also started off like, oh man,
It's a slow start.
yeah, the
I'm-
start
yeah.
does not help it.
The start does not help.
Like
I agree with that.
watching 2 hours or however much I was fully awake for the first one really didn't make me. I mean, and even shows if you look at the timeline of how I watched it, like we recorded the last episode, you picked this show. I waited. There was 1 day in the middle, and then I watched the first movie, and then absolutely nothing until about 2 days ago, because the first movie, like nothing about the first movie made me sit there like,
Yeah.
let's do this again.
I think the
'Cause-
thing about the first movie is it's supposed to appeal to the original demographic.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure.
it's supposed to.
If you were
Be
invested,
magical.
if you're invested in the story at that point, I'm sure that the cliffhanger that I imagine they leave you on makes you like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah.
And
Also,
it was
Well-
like,
they had to
What was that,
preface a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things had to be covered for anything to remotely make sense, and that was the
Yeah.
first movie.
That's
I
true.
watched all of it today. Speaking of when we watched it, that was fun. I actually
That's an attention span. Did you
I
watch
like-
it subbed or dubbed?
subbed.
I liked looking
I
I
through
watched
the,
it both. It's not bad either
The
way.
second one, honestly, I'll be
The nursery
100%
rhyme?
honest. No, the
Nur-
second one, I lost focus, and then I was barely paying attention. It went from main monitor to second monitor, and then I was doing homework. But like,
Understandable.
well, homework and playing a game with Gus. But, like, but the third movie, mostly like full attention, especially near the end, and that fight, the gunfight scene.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
the third
Yeah.
movie was definitely the high point.
Mhm.
Yeah. The thing, like, the third movie does make it, I think. And I really like the setup in the first movie. I like Sayaka's character a lot. She's a cool character.
Yeah,
She's given the thing about the thing about the series, like if you watch the show, she and Madoka get a lot more development. Like not like a
Okay.
bunch more, but they do get more.
Well, I think she had a good amount.
Yeah.
I will say the ending of the first movie, like had it not been for her in the first one, I don't know. Well, for one, I don't know what they would have put in place of it, but
Yeah.
it was a thing happening. I just kind of wish that they like ever went back to it,
Yeah,
because it was sort of like,
that's fair.
oh, she's crossed this line, like now she's a witch. Good job, guys. Next movie. And then
They
she
did
was
go
like,
back to it a bit.
they did for a bit, but it's sort of, again, kind of, that was right with the cake thing, and
Yeah, well, the thing
I
is,
blocked
like-
about 20 minutes on either end of the cake.
Did you watch that in
nursery
dub?
rhyme.
Did you watch the cake thing in
Yes,
dub?
it was so much
Okay, see
worse.
that's your problem.
It was
It's so much worse in dub.
abysmal. It was so terrible.
It is abysmal.
So,
I'm telling you.
with the cake thing, what was with that pet that kept talking about cheese? And then
That's
became a
that's the
real
demon that
girl?
ate mommy. That's the one that ate mommy. But then
What
I don't
the
know why it
fuck?
became a
Why
real
is
one.
it there? And why are we okay with that?
That's
She
what
is
It's
happened.
Gun
Homura's.
Girl.
It's Homura's world. It's not real.
But why'd she eat? Man, Homura, bro, like, why did you bring the fucking worm from Cuphead that ate like our favorite gun girl? Like, what the fuck?
You brought everyone.
I was so, and then it kept talking about cheese. I'm like, what was your deal?
I was trying to figure out what that was about, and I couldn't.
I think it was just
I respect it.
one of them said, "I'll turn you into cheese," and then it had no other, like, there's no other character to it, so it just kept saying cheese.
I was just confused why it was also like mommy's pet, and then like I thought it was herd. It was like that thing's doing the cheese thing's doing, because I thought it was like manipulating like mommy, and then it was just like, no, she's just there. Cheese
I think the
girl.
point
I'm like,
was that
okay.
Homura was trying to bring in things so she wouldn't have to blame herself.
Mm,
That's
okay.
the only explanation I could think of. Also, I think they wanted to make cute merch with it.
True.
There are
That
no
was-
good QB plushes.
Capitalism
some-
at its finest once again.
Market some cheese to the viewers.
They did that with Ava too. It
Hmm.
happens to the best of them.
You know what they
Best
didn't
of
do
one.
it to? Darling in the Franks.
Shut the fuck
Taking
up.
another dub.
Shut up. I hate you. Oh my god.
Someday,
Um,
Nick's gonna not be on this podcast anymore because we're gonna have murdered him for
someday
talking
we're gonna-
about Darling in the Franks.
This
Can I-
will
can
not
I
age
drop-
well if Nick dies in the next few days. Nick, live.
No, it won't at all. But also, then it won't be uploaded. So you won't have to
Let's
worry about that.
Let's go.
What are you gonna drop?
Oh, I was gonna drop some. I'm blanking on the word now. Opinion that is very. Oh, it starts with a C. Why has it completely left my mind?
Contentious?
Controversial.
No, word
Controversial.
starts with C.
I was gonna drop a
Oh,
very
cunt.
controversial opinion, but I don't want to get off on a tangent.
Cunt.
So we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll
we're gonna
bring
have
it
to.
back later.
We're gonna have to
Okay.
bleep that out.
Okay.
What Nicole said.
Okay.
You can't say that.
I can't say it.
Why not?
I
Just
don't know.
identify as Australian for like a hot second, and then we're all good.
I wish I was British. I like that word. I think it's funny.
That'd be
What word?
tragic if
I
you're
was
British.
Not
We
paying
would not
attention.
talk to each other, Nicole.
The word that is a C and ends with a T. And it is cunt. That is
Uh,
the word.
It rhymes with bunt too. Just
And-
thought I'd throw it out there.
I don't
front.
think that's true. Okay,
Maybe.
there's a O in front and a U in cunt. They cannot be the same sound.
I don't think there's any other word that has the same letters. Right?
In my
Bunt.
mind, that's still like that's like a slur I can't say.
I looked
I
at my
just-
phone for a second, and what the hell are you guys talking about?
Nick, just stay out of it for like a couple seconds.
Alright,
There's
alright.
some words that like
Let the big kids talk, alright?
there's some words that like aren't necessarily slurs, but I just think of them as such. And I'm just like,
List.
those words are
Tell us all
away.
of them.
List them out.
Say them all out loud.
Even the slurs.
I want to know everything that Daniel thinks is a
Oh,
slur.
No, I just get really nervous because like I'll say a word and then there'll just be like complete silence and I'm like usually someone would say something and I think I say a slur like I just like discovered one, like
Mhm.
I'm a pioneering slurs and then they're just like no we just weren't paying attention. I'm like oh
The
okay.
pioneer of slurs.
That was my
He
nickname.
knows
in
out here
college.
inventing slurs.
Pioneers.
I feel like if you are truly not intelligent enough to stumble your way legitimately into a slur, I think you get a pass, whatever that is. If you can
Yeah.
somehow come up with it on your own,
I'm pretty stupid, so like that might happen. Invent a new one, I should say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
give
That's
us
I
comments
commitment.
when you
Yeah.
think of when you come up with some.
I'll just
We wanna
start
hear 'em
saying
all.
words.
Come up with one for me.
Slur for you, Gus.
Hurry up.
I want a Nicole slur.
No, don't rush this.
Don't rush the process.
We're
We're gonna
gonna
commission
What is this episode gonna
slurs.
be? Magical girls, Jojo references, and slurs.
Inventing slurs.
Uh,
Daniel, you
slurs.
should have one of those like Twitter art accounts, and you're like slur commissions, $10. You have
You
people
just-
ordering slurs from you.
You send like a group of people, not like a race or not like a gender. I mean like gamers or like magical girls.
What do you
That's
mean?
already a slur.
I just
Don't even
make
slur
it
for gamers.
make it one.
yeah, careful
Facts.
what you say about that.
Facts. Fuck gamers, for real.
Nah.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by
Except.
Caught lacking. Gotta be
No.
careful what you say.
that?
No.
No,
Fuck
it's
gamers
safe.
except for people that play Osu Taiko.
Why is that the stance you're taking?
Call it Osu Midko. Was that
Good one,
was that
Gus.
good?
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, we were talking about
It's peak.
binging earlier, Nick. I,
Yeah.
as you know, watched
Binge
the rest
drinking?
of Sword Art Online, and
yeah.
Jeez, that show's rough. Like, okay, on my
They-
on my top 10 is Sword Art Online
Mm,
season 1 first half, like first arc.
I want
Oh. You want to what? Also, hypothetically speaking, you should move the mic a little bit farther away from you. I think the big
Better.
thing with all that is the rest of SAO
Mm-hmm.
is okay.
This is garbage?
This brings me okay. Hold on, I've got some stuff written down.
Yep.
Yeah.
For if we
It's
ever
garbage.
bring up topics that I can go. I don't know if I said this yet on the podcast, but if I did, I will say it again. Ava and SAO are two of, if not the two most influential anime of all time.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know where that was going.
I think
Top 2 anime of all time.
I mean, you're wrong, but I
Undisputed.
didn't know where that was going.
No, I like legitimately, if you think about shows that have influenced people who watch anime, at least I'll speak mostly Western for now, I guess, because I can't speak for other demographics, but I like legitimately do think that they have had those two have had like the biggest influence. Not like because
I
none of them were the
think-
first
okay.
in their own respective
Disagree.
categories.
I've
but-
got an argument. I've got a counter proposal here.
All right.
I think Sailor Moon fits in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, she invented power scaling.
True.
He
That would
beats
be marks
every-
against her.
Sailor Moon
Any
solos
think
everyone.
Sonic X is actually the inspiration for all great animes.
That's true. They have magical gems in that show.
Yeah. All right. But besides
Dude,
these,
it's a-
Magicals.
besides these
Madoka
funny
Magica.
anti-takes, Daniel, I'm curious your actual.
That was an actual dig on my part. Excuse you.
I'm more my Gus's a Sonic X thing. Well, what do you-
Besides
no.
Nicole's valid opinion and Gus's comment,
Yo,
um,
you
so
wouldn't get it.
I just Sword Art Online is okay. They're
Mid
like-
art online.
What if
You're
we run
His-
off of the success? No, not your time, not your time. What if we
Dale
run
has
off
a
the
talking stick.
What if we run off the success of the first arc? Go to a slightly different video game world. With fairy wings now. Oh, and what if we sprinkle in a little like tentacle porn and also some like sexual assault undertones from every single villain in the show, but also
Yeah,
every
let's
single
make Asuna the most weak, wimpy character ever. After
Okay.
she
so
was
I'm gonna pause, even though Daniel, you've got the talking
Hold
stick.
on.
I'm gonna stop
There's-
all of you right here because there's
okay,
two
so-
things. No. Two things that I gotta address here. Number one, Daniel, you are legitimately spitting facts. Just, I don't think you understood what I said. What my original thing was. I'm not talking about how good it is. I solely mean influential. And
Oh, I thought
I'm
you just
not-
wanted me to continue what I was saying.
no, and I'm not going to count. Obviously, I don't think that Alicization War of the Underworld has influenced anyone on anything, because God help you if you made it that far in
Influenced
SAO.
me to
Influence
get
people
off.
to end their own lives.
But like you did on your top 10 list, Daniel,
Mhm,
let's pretend it's speaking just about the part that everyone watched of SAO,
mhm,
which is the
mhm.
first half of the first season. And
Mhm.
Nicole, to your thing, I said two of, if not. So I'm leaving some room in for stuff that I don't know enough about, because I don't know that much about Sailor Moon. But
So
I think
my thing about Sailor Moon, I actually haven't watched all of Sailor Moon,
exposed.
but
More than me.
I'm just going off of the amount of Sailor Moon merch you can find at any store, anywhere in the U.S. And you can get Sailor Moon merch at fucking Target and Walmart. Like,
Yeah, so some of that though also could I will preface this by saying I don't know how any sort of copyright stuff works, but if they give the rights to make merchandise away to a lot of people,
yeah,
or at least make them completely public, or maybe it's like it's so old that it's all public now, you're just going to end up, because obviously companies want to make money. Like I'm sure if Demon Slayer said, hey, any company ever, if you want to make Demon Slayer merch, you can do it. You would see Demon Slayer
you
shit.
can buy Demon Slayer merch
everywhere.
at Target and Walmart too.
What weeb Target are you
Yeah.
shopping at?
No.
I will say I
Have
don't
you
go to
never
Target. I don't go to
You
Target
can.
and Walmart. I'll preface it by saying
You should
that.
go in the
forget
Target
how-
t-shirt section.
mainstream anime is now. You can just get like Naruto merch at Target.
Well, Naruto.
Yeah, you can get Naruto. You can get Demon
been
Slayer.
hella
They
mainstream.
had My Hero for a bit. You can
yeah.
get Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not arguing to. Oh, I remember one other thing. Yeah, for whatever reason, they made Asuna suck absolute ball for like the first 3 seasons of SAO.
One
But-
ball.
She does come back. She does kind of get redeemed in Alicization. They make
No.
her actually
Best
good.
part
No,
of
they don't.
SAO was the cabin part.
Best part of SAO is when
That was-
Kirito
that was
turns
dope.
into a
That was the best
spaceship.
fucking part of the show.
Best part is
What
when
the
Kirito turns into a spaceship, fights a space beholder from Dungeons and Dragons, and
He's
then the
not
show
become
ends.
a spaceship. He's
Well, he
not
just
become-
is in space fighting a beholder,
Okay.
and then the show ends.
Spoilers
The
for
fuck
SAO.
happened?
Spoilers for SAO. It's Daniel's recap time. All right. So basically, this organization's like, we're gonna make an AI. So we're gonna
Why
like.
are we
make-
summarizing anime? All right, who gives a fuck? They can deal with it. Watch it on your own. All right, and then you can discourse with us. All right, no more explaining anime that doesn't matter. All right, who gives a fuck about SAO Alicization? Only you right now.
It
Alright,
was
I
garbage.
said my point.
I can assume this.
Now discuss your
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. It was unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Every
the
single.
entire trope of SAO after the first half of the first season was like, how can we make him go into a video game again?
What other
What
video
again?
games
And then
are there?
they absolutely obliterated the dead horse that was the video game.
Did anyone
isekai
watch
genre.
the side series? Did
Which
anyone
one?
watch the
No.
side?
Gun
Gun
Gale
Gale
Online?
Online? Did anyone
I
watch
did,
that?
I did.
I liked
Okay.
it. I didn't think it was that bad.
So it was complete dog shit, and this is why. It was Sword Art Online, but it was guns, and then
The female
Kirito's
protagonist.
like, I'm gonna keep a sword.
That's the problem.
No, you're not talking about the
No,
right
Daniel,
Gun Gale
Daniel,
Online.
Daniel, you're talking about
The
a different
side
one.
story, not the actual one.
There's actual Gun Gale Online, and then there's a
Oh.
different Gun Gale
Yeah,
Online.
the actual
Yeah,
one
that-
is good. It has a female protagonist, and she's in the game
That's why I didn't
because she's
watch it.
really tall,
Hell.
and her avatar is short because she just wants to be short in real life because she's ashamed of being tall.
Yeah, they somehow
it's like-
made
And she
they
just wants
somehow
to be a
made the
small,
going
cute
into a
girl.
video game thing even worse.
Oh my god!
Kill
they
yourself.
Made,
It's
they made,
so good.
They made Tall Girl from Netflix into an anime.
Oh my god,
That's
they
wild.
made people lying about their height online into a show. I can't
No,
wait to
it's
watch
crazy.
that.
so
Okay,
cute.
bro.
Shut the fuck up.
That was a cringe
loved
take.
it.
That seems
far.
cute, but at the same time, I hate SAO.
Can I
Um,
drop my really controversial take right now?
Yeah, you know what? Let's hear it, Nick. I want to hear this
All
right
right,
now.
all right.
A
I've been
controversial
hiding.
take
I've
from
been
Nick.
I've been cowering. I've been fearing for my well-being every time this gets brought up, but I'm officially ready to own up.
hmm
I'm ready to come forth and come clean.
Yeah.
Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 is a 10 out of 10 isekai. It is better than ReZero, and the first season is also better
Daniel.
than ReZero. Daniel, get your ass back here. Come back here.
Daniel, come
because
back because I have a
it's
take. about
it's time for you guys to face the facts, which is my points are not bad just because they're my points until Nicole validates them. They were valid before, and Nicole can just make them equal. But come
now
back
you're
here.
just saying malarkey.
Nope, come back here and hear why you're wrong. Come back here and hear why you're wrong.
So, here's my take on Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah.
Daniel, it does have fan service. You're right.
Mhm.
And it
That's
is
not what
weird.
bothers me.
What bothers you specifically? Because I want to address this. Because
There's a
it didn't bother me too much.
There is a 40-year-old man in a child's body hitting on children. And there's a love story between a 40-year-old man and a child, and they are technically also related because they are parts of the same family. That is what bothers me.
Okay.
Other
First
than
of
that,
all,
I could probably
I can't
watch
say
season
anything
2.
about relationships between people that are technically from the same family because I watch Fruits Basket. And they're all part of the same family.
We could say though, however, if you're thinking to like in the setting that it's in, all these like medieval families that are, you know, like super
Bro,
It's
okay,
like-
end your take here. This is
nope,
bad.
nope. I'm going with it.
It's a fantasy world. You can just fucking change
it's
anything how you
all
want it to
fantasy
be.
worlds, all like they're all based off of like medieval blueprint.
Yeah, I
kind of,
remember
like,
back in 1700s when they had motherfucking magic,
That ain't-
alright?
that is not
on.
medieval times.
This is like
So-
the same
Dudes that
take.
don't know their
let's
history.
let's give a hold on.
It's a medieval times.
Let's give a rundown though, because ain't there
1400 to
so
1789.
much more? Ain't there so much more
Based.
incest in like Game of Thrones per se, which is
Yeah, did I
well
watch Game
I
of
renowned?
love Game of Thrones. That was a
Hey.
joke. I haven't seen it.
Well, I'm not
See-
speaking for you guys, but for the tons of people that watch that shit. And are your parents? Do you think your parents enjoy incest because they watched it? Nah, no one does. My parents
Bro.
watched it. I know. Oh,
I
whoever.
get it. You love incest, okay? Now, is the incest the biggest problem? No! It's the 40-year-old man part! You haven't addressed that at all!
So
Here is my thought about him being a 40-year-old man. First of all, I think he's like 35.
yeah, he's not 40.
Oh, so
He's
that's
not
a lot
It does
better.
the both there. He's a
No,
child.
no,
He's
let
a
it go,
minor.
let it go. Let it finish out. Let it finish out.
But this is the first time you advocated for me to finish my sentence.
Then finish the damn sentence!
I'm going to. Wait, okay. I
Almost
don't know
fell
what to
asleep
say.
because I was waiting for you to finish the sentence. Because you're trying to
I'm trying to
vi-
figure- Shut the fuck up!
I'm done.
Fine.
He may be 40. Not 40. He may be 35. In his brain. But also.
Yeah.
If you were personally 35 and were reborn as a child, as a baby, what would you do?
Not hit on children.
You hit on full adults as a
No.
6-year-old child?
I would
Would you
not
be-
hit on people.
Would you become a monk?
I'd probably just shoot myself. TBH. This is a
But
terrible
here's the thing.
example. Me
Here's
when I
the
get
thing.
reincarnated.
Do you guys remember? Because it's one thing that no one talks about in the whole jobless reincarnation thing. You remember the part where he was literally assaulted and tied up naked in front of his school, in front of all of his classmates?
Yeah, that's horrible.
And then, yeah. And then remember how from then when he was, let's say 15, let's say 16 for that.
Mhm.
And then he proceeded to shut himself in his room and not look at people. He didn't talk to his parents. He didn't talk
Yeah.
to
I
anyone
believe he
outside.
was actually looking at his underage niece naked.
Let me fact check that real quick.
I believe that is the backstory behind the first episode.
I think. You mean when they come in when they're doing like the funeral thing? Or when he skips his parents' funeral?
Yeah.
He's just watching porn.
I think he was just,
I think he's just watching porn.
yeah, I can't remember at this point.
The research.
Also,
Yeah, it
Eris
says he
and-
watched unfaithful videos.
Eris
I-
and Rudis
Unfaithful.
have the same last name, by the way. I thought I'd throw that out there.
They have the same second last name. They're all in the Grey Rat family, but Rudius he's Rudius, whatever the fuck Paul's actual last name is. And then she's Eris Boreat. Like there's
They all
there's
call her.
there's
Eris
the Grey
Boreat.
Rat family.
It's
and
like
then
a
there's
giant
the
clan.
Boreases, and then there's the something somethings, and then there's the Notos. That's what Rudius is. And then there's the
Yeah.
someone else.
Here's the thing. It is a really hard show to defend with only words. But as someone who is very sensitive to a unlikable world / story, I thought that who he is in his past life is properly addressed
Which season?
throughout the show.
No.
You just have to pay attention.
Oh, my bad.
It's there, I'm telling you. But like the thing about it is like
Part of the whole point of it is like not
That he fucking
rebirth,
sucks.
or not.
It's
Yeah, not even
the
like
point is that he
rebirth, but
sucks.
yeah, it's the point is that he and people change.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what, if you really actually watch it and watch the second season, because the thing is, the actual story itself is like ridiculously long. And
It follows him till he's like middle-aged.
it follows him until he's actually like old as hell.
Yeah.
And because it actually goes in depth and like world builds and character builds and shows you the ins and outs of people that aren't just the main character, it spends a lot
Also-
of time developing who he was, which is a shitty NEET basically, and then also spends time developing how he becomes mentally and physically Rudius and not whatever his name was. Do they
Sure.
never name him in the old show or in his old
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, he doesn't have a name in his previous life. I think the thing that I didn't think about, which was interesting to see, and I might be overthinking this fucking show, but because I did, I enjoyed it a lot. But the thing that I noticed is that, like, there'll be periods of the show where you don't hear his internal voice at all.
Mhm.
Like, it pulls up occasionally, but there will be like multi-episode stretches, I think, where you don't hear his internal old voice. Like, he may be who he was in a past life in the beginning completely, but he spends years in a different life. Like, he is also that person.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I would argue he spends more actual time.
I don't think
In
that's a good
the-
argument. I don't think that's a good argument.
No.
Because he does spend a lot of time in his previous world, even if he thinks it's not.
Oh, I mean, like percentage wise. Like, obviously, all up until high school, he was interacting with people as an actual
I still
person,
don't
but
think the interaction with people is a good measure of his life. Because I think, like, the thing that has the most effect on him and his memories from his past life is the time he was alone.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
obviously-
that's fair.
I agree with all these things that he's gonna like grow into a different person, and they really like flesh out the character and like how he's changed. I get all that after the first season. I watched the first episode of the second season, and there is a lolly demon immediately.
yeah.
Remember, I said,
Stop. It was hypersexualized lolly demon right off the bat, and I was like, all right, checking out. I am not
Dude would
watching
not
this.
like Hachikuji.
I might check back in because like it sounds intriguing, but also I like was so like I'm not gonna watch this again. I'll just find out what happens at the end. I look at the end and everything that I wish didn't happen happened.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh cool. All these things where it's like, oh he's a better person now, and then I just look at the end. I'm like, no he's not.
The end of
No,
what?
I don't.
Mashoko Tensei.
The second season, but
Like,
No,
you
the end
I-
of the whole show.
oh,
what do you mean?
Like that or the end of the manga. I
You
looked
read
at the end
the
of the
end of it?
manga and I just literally spark note like type some synopsis and I was like this is disappointed. So I just didn't want to get
Interesting.
back into
I
it.
think while the end, if you take it by itself, sure, it doesn't seem like, you know, like, oh my god, this is the best ending of a thing ever. But you also watched the first season and then jumped straight to the end.
Yeah, and
like,
I was
I-
disappointed by his actions at the end.
But you don't know anything that led up to what he does at the end, unless you
This
spark
is
noted
something-
the entire thing.
This is something you don't really I don't want to spoil it, but this is something you really just don't need context for leading up to this moment. It checks out where
You can
his
spoil it.
his personality for the first season is still shining just as brightly, just as like a huge fucking flashbang at the end.
what's the end? Just spoil it.
Well, okay. This is so every single like child that he likes in the beginning, he ends up having like several kids with every single one of them. And I was like, yeah, that sounds
You do mean the end of the story where everyone is grown up?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has like families with all of them, and it sounds like
I'm
his
not saying that's a
dad.
good ending.
I don't think it's.
I'm not a.
I don't think it is
Well,
his character shining bright at the end.
Tell me
Though.
about his dad.
well, it sounds like his dad. You know how his dad, like
Oh,
in
yeah.
Yeah.
in the new world, where he like
See,
he flirted around and like fucked the midwife.
here's the
It's
thing that you missed in second season
what's I
is
missing?
that Paul is unbelievably sexy.
He is.
He is so hot. I am telling you. I've never been so attracted to an anime dad in my entire life. He's so hot.
I
Damn,
think
I guess I
Daniel.
gotta watch
It's-
second season.
Daniel, I
He's
think
so hot.
the like biggest, and it's not really a problem. It's just if you're gonna watch it, the biggest thing with Jobless Reincarnation is if you look at it, if the only thing you're willing to commit to it is a surface level understanding, then the only thing you get back from it is a surface level like overview, which is, yeah, this shit doesn't look good, this doesn't look special in any way. Which, you know, is fine. Like there's a ton of shows that you can look at surface level and you get a enjoyable thing back from. But this is one that without actually paying attention to the whole thing, you get two completely different experiences out of.
Hmm.
Which is not to say that it's good and is not to say that it's bad. It's just to say what it is.
I already said I
Which-
was gonna watch the second season eventually. I'm just hyper against the whole show.
Yeah.
Other than like
yeah.
it looks great and the world is interesting, and that's
Here's the thing.
extent.
I actually like Eris too. I think
Oh
she's
yeah,
a good character.
I think she's an awesome.
She's an even
character.
better character in season 2.
It's
and
just
the
so
other thing-
unfortunate that Rudis is in her life at all.
Here's
Anyway,
the thing
continue.
about Rudius.
Rudius, my bad.
I think. Okay. This is going to sound bare minimum, but it's
Mhm.
because he is a character in this kind of anime.
Mhm.
It is impressive to me that he never does anything super creepy without asking. And if someone seems unwilling, he will deny it.
All right.
Also, at the end of
Receipts.
spoiler alert for second season, I
Me
won't name it so that Daniel
Going
doesn't
to
get this
watch
bit.
it.
Nicole, the thing that happened at the end
Yeah.
of second season, not only did he like ask, or actually he didn't ask, he
Oh,
verbally
no.
said that he was against it.
Because
Oh,
he-
no.
No.
No, Daniel, not in the way that you're think. Okay, you know what? I feel like Daniel's gonna have a skewed opinion. Basically,
Yeah.
Daniel, this thing happens at the end that if you take it again surface level, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's gross.
He kisses Eris, no question.
No. But the thing that happens, not only does he not want to do it, but he says he's against it. And
But he
then-
says he's against it because he says it doesn't feel right because he doesn't think she is doing it for the right reasons.
yeah,
I'm
he shows.
gonna watch it so I can explain why this show is unfortunate.
Daniel,
It's not a bad scene.
I don't want you to rush watching it just so you can say that you've watched it and can now have an opinion on it.
And shit on it.
Take all the time you need to be ready to watch it.
I'm
But
watching it.
when you
It'll
do,
be done by Sunday.
when you do, I want you to actually pay attention to it, because if you don't, I think, or I am confident in saying that if you pay attention to the second season, your opinion
Mhm.
will change.
Pay attention
And
to Paul too.
if you don't, yeah, whatever, that's neither here nor there. But
Pay
if you
attention to
don't
Paul.
pay attention to it, then I think you'll get what you got out of the first season, which is you thought it was bad.
I'm gonna sidebar everything you guys are saying, and I'll watch the second season. I just like to bring attention. Gus checked out a long time ago because he does not like this show at all, and there's nothing you can say that can change that, and I respect the hell of it. I've been 1v2ing this entire time, and you know,
I begin 1v3'd until I got someone else to watch it. Welcome to my world, bro.
Okay. I'm not gonna deny that they do something special, like in that show, and by special I mean turn a sexual assaulter into a likable character.
He's
But
not a sexual assaulter.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Do you mean like, okay, I guess I should preface. I remember all the things he did in the first season, which is like look at a middle schooler like masturbate for some reason. That was a weird scene. Why was that even in the show? Do you not remember that? His teacher, the blue hair
Roxy,
witch.
I think
she's
she's
Roxy.
like
not
12.
18.
She's
She is.
literally.
I said a middle schooler.
She's not even that.
She's not a middle schooler.
If anything,
She's young. What?
older. No.
No.
Oh yeah, her people age differently, right?
People age differently, and
Oh,
she's.
so she just looks like a middle schooler. Yeah, so she was masturbating outside of his parents' room. He
I
came out
think
as
that's
a baby.
offensive
and
to women with small boobs.
No, she's a tiny person.
She's supposed.
She's literally bigger than
No.
all the other female characters.
And
in the show.
proportionally
Also, her parents. Are
to
small.
her parents' age, she is supposed to be about 25.
I was comparing that she's short. Like Rudius as like a toddler or like an elementary school teacher or a teacher, what the fuck? Elementary school like age is like the same, is like only a tiny bit
Oh
shorter than
no!
her.
Wait, no! Wait! You didn't watch it at all. He's literally not even up to her shoulders when she's teaching him. He's like so much smaller than.
How
she
did y'all
is.
have like height receipts? Did y'all take like a
I just
I was taking
rewatched it.
measurements.
I
I was
just
taking
rewatched the
proportional
show.
measurements.
each pixel should I'm just like trying to remember like what
She
I was
was
watching.
approximately 5'5".
Anyway, a lot of issues with the first season. I'll watch the second one. I'll come back. You'll probably be right for some things. I'm still gonna dislike him regardless of what they do, and you're gonna say something right now. It's like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. But like, that's it. That's it. It's done. It's done.
I'm not
Gus-
saying I like him. I don't think I like Rudius. But I like all the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even
All
Paul.
right.
Daniel, I think in the same way that I didn't enjoy Madoka Magica, to bring us back to Madoka Magica, in the same way that I didn't really enjoy that, I think that there's some shows that some people are just never going to enjoy. And if that's what that is to you, I can't make you like it.
And
Nothing
why
is-
did we spend fucking 45 minutes arguing about it?
Gus with the fucking facts right now.
I simply wanted to
I was
state
trying to
that
question the
We're
Purpose
moving
of
on.
having a
We're finding a new
podcast.
topic. All right, someone think of literally anything else, please, man. That shit.
I brought up last time about Pokemon Arceus.
yeah, have you
I
played
ain't
it
talking
since
about
then?
Pokemon. Holy shit.
No, we'll just quickly.
Just when I thought it couldn't get any better.
I got a thing.
Yeah.
For us to talk about.
I was just gonna say it's not as bad as I thought it was. Anyway, continue.
Does anyone do the words, or does the name Die Fantasy mean anything to any of you?
Nope.
No.
No.
None of you saw that shit? It was this YouTube video that came out, it must have been so long ago. I swear somebody
What are we
watched this.
talking about?
10 years ago. It came out 10 years ago. Has like 70 million views basically on YouTube. And it was this like animated music video where like these kids break into a pool
Mm-hmm.
and it's like after hours or whatever, and they're like clearly a bunch of high schoolers, and they jump in to the pool, and then all of a sudden they start, like, a couple of them start turning into like tentacle monsters, and then one of them like dives into the water to escape these creepy monsters, and then pops up in like this fantasy world that the pool is connected to. I somehow just remembered this like a week ago, and it was like a fever dream because I was 10 when I first watched this video, but I was just hoping that someone else had watched the video and shared
No
this
memory.
experience.
No idea what you're talking
What
about.
were you doing?
That sounds wild.
How?
It was
Bro, 10 years ago, I was looking up motherfucking Sims naked pictures on YouTube, bro. I found some dude, he started his video, he was like, don't report me. Sims naked mod. And I was like, this is it!
10 years ago, I had a
Uh,
DeviantArt account.
dude, they will not stop sending me emails. I wanted to get one picture for something, and I had to make an account. I could not block them. They just keep coming back.
Yeah,
They truly are desperate at this point.
Oh man.
I did like a cleanse of my emails where I just blocked as many corporations as possible and then deleted every single email that wasn't important, and I got down from like 7,000 to like 500, and it's back up to
Rookie
like
numbers.
it's back up to like 2,000, and I'm like, shit, I
Damn.
gotta block more people. Because then Disney,
Imagine not having a burner email that you use for all your spam mail and
I have
companies.
like 3, but they
Yeah.
somehow get in.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm like, how is ABC News emailing me? What did I give you? When did I give you that? And
I've got 2 Gmails and an iCloud, and they're all full of corporation spam mail.
also, why is Disney like? Disney makes like 70 different emails that all are like slightly different about like vacation or like going to Disneyland or just a bunch of other rat shit, and I don't want any of it. Like I keep blocking it, and then a new Disney thing pops up, and it sucks my soul.
This
I hate
brings
it.
me, this topic
Where does this
brings
bring
me
you?
to a amazing new bit of technology that if
Mhm.
only it worked, it would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Whatever the most recent iOS update was, added this email security thing where
Mhm.
when you're giving your email to like fill in a form, you can choose the like hide my email, and what it does is it gives them a fake email, and every email sent to that account is forwarded to your account, but when you don't need it anymore, you can just delete it. So like
Mhm.
if you need one confirmation email, then you can just delete the email and never get it again. Amazing idea, except it doesn't forward it to your email, or at least it doesn't forward it to mine. And so, like when I went downhill skiing the other day, I was like, Aftonalps, you'll probably send me some spam mail. I'll have you send my ticket confirmation to this different one. And then I never got my ticket confirmation. So,
Oh, cool.
Fun.
This never came back.
Yikes.
if that ever starts working, that will be amazing and will solve the email problem. But until then,
I'm gonna. Okay. I've been. Something's been taking up a lot of my time, guys. And it's not SAO.
Go on.
It's not complaining about Mushoku Tensei after watching one season and barely paying attention. It's not even Magical Girls. It is this game called Apex Legends. And Gus and I have been playing
No,
it.
Dana, you trying to queue up a game right now?
Yeah. That game.
Discord on the second monitor? I'm loading up.
I love that game, and I started playing a lot of it. But then a couple people would play with me, and then they all dropped it because their computers were bad. And now all of a
Jeez.
sudden we're all back into Apex. And there's a time where I played one day for like 12 hours from noon to
God
midnight, and then
damn.
went to sleep. And then 12 hours from when I got off, I was back onto Apex playing more.
Jeez.
Because they have the best representation of characters. Like it's like
What
a
do you
diverse.
do? What is it, like a
It-
shooter game?
It's like a shooter game battle royale with like a lot of movement. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like it's not like as cringy as PUBG. Sorry, people who like PUBG. It's cringe. It's not
the
Fortnite, which is
OG.
even
Nice
worse.
apology.
How you calling the OG cringe?
It's a little cringe. It's a little bit. And it's not as stupid as Warzone. Warzone's dumb. I don't want to talk about it. Warzone is dumb. We've been having a blast and just playing it a lot.
Blast,
They have a
'cause it's guns.
non-binary. Yeah. They got a large cast. They have a adorable French person. I love her. She's my
What?
main.
Wait.
She's French and adorable.
Is that
Me
Watson?
when
Did I mention
It's
she's
Watson.
French?
Did I mention she's French? Because like most people would say that's a downside.
diverse
I say
cast,
it's
adorable
neutral.
French.
No. I wasn't gonna go over like everyone.
Even
But,
French
like,
people included.
No, but like they have a diverse cast, and then the people that voice them are also like usually of the same like group.
Mm.
For example, they have a non-binary icon, and everyone gets mad when you use the correct pronouns because they're like, "Yeah, Bloodhound, he's low," and then it's like they're low, and they're like, "Shut the fuck up, it's a game." And it's like, okay, cool. The same people got
Many
mad
pronouns.
in Call of Duty. You could select pronouns, and Ronald Reagan in the game would respect your choice of pronouns. So if you use they them, he would respect that. And people
That is the
got
least canonical
so mad.
Ronald Reagan.
This was in Zombies. So like there's Call of Duty Zombies, and people would be like, that's not historically accurate that he would respect your pronouns.
He
And
would
then
hate
it's
gay
literally
people.
like, yeah, exactly. I hate Ronald Reagan. Side note
Fuck Ronald
again.
Reagan, bro.
Fuck Ronald Reagan. What if we?
Ronald Reagan created AIDS.
I
Daniel,
worked with him on that one. That's
Bro.
not
What?
true.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of,
Gus created AIDS.
did you guys slightly current topic? Did you guys hear the news?
Nope.
3 people that had HIV were fully cured of the virus through
That's
some
cool.
weird stem
Aw.
cell thing.
I lied.
Of course,
I
it
actually had
took
heard
this
about
fucking
that.
long. That's
So-
really cool. Do you guys
That's
hear the
cool.
Queen got COVID?
You want
That's
to know
so
what's
funny.
scary
She
about
is
that?
going to die.
You want to know what's scary about that? I
Yeah.
was reminded of this thanks to TikTok, but some of you might know the YouTuber and streamer Jay Schlatt.
Oh
Oh,
no!
shit.
So
Didn't
basically,
didn't he
last
the
year,
time?
last year he was playing this weird like spy assassination game with another streamer, Ludwig. And one of the people you can pick is just this old woman, but it kind of looks like the queen. And he was playing the queen and trying to not get shot, and he was trying to, keep Ludwig from shooting the queen, but they would just call her the queen. And then Ludwig did, and he was like, "Oh, the queen's dead." And he was like, "I don't know about that." And then he said, "But March 11th, 2022 is going to be a very important day." And now that she's got that, everyone's like, "Wait a minute. Wait,
Dude is a
wait a
prophet.
minute."
Dude is literally a prophet.
So,
that guy's crazy. I love
He's
him.
coming into some money soon or something.
Daniel, can I give you my take on the Apex thing?
Yeah, sure.
That you hate gay people?
No, because I have another thing I want to say about that. Not about hating gay people.
Whoa.
Flip it.
Well, in a way, it kind of is, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So my problem with Apex, and I have it a little bit with Call of Duty, but it was my same problem with Overwatch, is I'm just not a fan of games with a large TTK. Like, if the time to kill is more than, like, I can point and shoot
Do
and
not
kill
say
him.
TTK ever again. Please.
Anyways, I don't know. That's, like, it's not like I only hate Apex, or, like, because I've played some Apex, and it's very fun. I like Battle Royales, and it's a cool spin on it, but when given the choice, I'm not gonna choose a game where, I can absolutely beam someone for, like, 2 seconds, and then they pop out from behind a thing and just kill me because I was a little bit low.
That just sounds like you suck dick.
So
Maybe.
because Gus and I we've had some experiences in Apex now because we play
That's
a lot.
true.
I was gonna say we should play after this, but I need to go to bed. Anyway,
Need to? Think about it. Think
if
about
you're
it.
on, we'll talk later. Basically, there'll be like, if you drop hot in an area where there's not enough loot, all of a sudden there's just a bunch of people with minimal weapons, and then you just start brawling. Like, you just start punching each other, and it's so fucking fun to do that for like a little bit. And the time to kill is long because you're punching each other, but you're also trying to not get punched, so you're just running around. Also, I don't understand what this time to kill thing is. Like, I don't think of it as that long. If you laser someone, and the part of the game is you laser someone or like a team, and then you have to immediately push them and try to kill them. You don't wait for them to heal and then peek back out. And if you're at low health already and they just peek you and they just hit you and they're better than you, blame it on time to kill.
I mean,
Blame
it's
on the
just,
wing.
it's just
Blame
my
on the
personal
wingman.
preference. Even when I play like Call of Duty, I would always play hardcore mode where everyone has way less health and you
Duty.
basically die instantly. So that's just
Finally, I can die quicker. And
that's
not
just
play
the
that
games
game.
that's just the games that I like to play.
This just makes me think of Jack calling drone phase in Siege phone phase.
Is it Siege? Is time to kill from like when you first see them to when they die, or
No,
like
time to kill is from when the first bullet hits them to how many more bullets have to hit them to kill them.
Oh, well, that's just lame. Like,
I think you're just bad. I don't even know anything. I don't
Well,
know what you're talking
no,
about, but I feel
it's-
like you're just bad.
So, because I genuinely don't know, I hope headshots in Apex do extra damage, right?
yeah,
I do.
But
like
it's
every other game.
yeah, but it's not like if it's a headshot, you're instantly dead, right?
No, it's not like
Yeah,
Siege.
Unless
so-
you have the Kraber.
That
Unless you have
yeah,
the Kraber.
that's what I like about is the type of shooting games that I'm good at, or the part of them that I'm good at, is like quickly hitting people. I'm not very good at tracing or following a target after that. So for
Do you
me, a
play
game like
Osu?
yeah, that's swapping a target constantly. That's not picking and
Using the
tracking.
Osu mouse, the Osu drawing pad.
I tried that. It was abysmal. I tried to play Siege with my tablet. That was the worst thing ever. First off, the buttons on the fucking pen, like trying to scope and shoot with a tiny little pen button. Oh, miserable.
Awesome. That's awesome.
But no, so just for me, like Siege, because it's so much more rewarding, because you get hit in the head once, you're dead, no matter what gun, no matter what range. So for me, that rewards my skills better. But if I wasn't as good at that and I was way better at tracing people, I'm sure I would love Apex and probably
Also,
hate Siege.
The movement and difference in characters is just way more unique in Apex compared to Siege. Like, I was watching a video, because now I'm a cringe Apex player, as in, like, I will watch a guide on how to do movement better in that game, and there's a lot of shit in there, and it was, like, really interesting watching that, and, like, sliding mechanics. It's just very fast-paced. It's because I'm a shonen enjoyer. I need fast-paced action all the time.
Your attention span has been so diminished.
With a diverse cast of abilities.
I do notice that when I play Siege with you, you don't usually tend to say hold an angle or sit in a room and wait to get. Yeah, I'm always looking at Daniel.
That's
He's
how I don't play Siege.
He's just moving around, and I'm like,
I'm just
damn.
moving places. Especially on attack, I'm just like whipping corners and just relying on leaning and crouching while in a gunfight.
Lean.
Yo,
let me talk about another game. This is
for it.
completely unrelated. Who's heard of Lost Ark?
Oh, not this again.
Did I talk about it?
Okay,
I actually have not played Lost Ark in like several days. But let me tell you, the game has been out for just around 11 days. There are people on my Steam friends list who have over 110 hours on the game.
God damn.
That means you're playing 10 hours every day since its release. Those people are built wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's someone
That's
that I
too
know
much.
with 140 hours. Like, actually,
So
you
messed
have a
That's
disease.
messed up. That is not.
Yeah, that's not
Like,
healthy.
just think about that. Like, what's
The
your
fuck else
weekly
do they-
average for, like, going on TikTok? Let me check.
Mine's gonna be not good.
Also, I have a whiteboard to my right that has days without League of Legends.
What's a whiteboard?
It's. Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
You're gonna.
Gus,
Gonna call
so-
me out on being racist.
So
for
Gus,
the-
my weekly
type of
average
board.
on TikTok is 20 hours.
20.
Same.
Oh, mine's 27. I can't
Oh
talk.
my god. What are you? That's so much
Like,
worse.
if you're just looking at your screen time, it's like, I don't know, what I have is like 7 hours.
Well, that's just for this week.
For last. Oh, that was just for this week?
No. You had 27 hours this week? It's Wednesday.
No, I had 11 this week.
Okay.
Wait, are you guys going to like screen time and then clicking on week and then see what TikTok
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. And
Wait.
swiping back a week. Swipe back a week.
Swipe back a week so you get to a full week.
Okay.
It's gonna have like
Oh,
I say 7. I say 7 total for the week.
what do you think? Yeah, what do you think mine is?
Like, the
7?
weekly,
The weekly
the
total.
daily average.
What is my daily and what is my entire week?
I feel like it could be anything.
Yeah, I don't think any guess I could make would be right.
My daily average is 1 hour, and my
So
and
7
my whole
hours?
week. My whole week is 8 hours and 24 minutes.
I'll take that. That was pretty
Impressive.
close.
How do I have 27?
But they're
I
all at the
have-
wrong times.
I have some good gaming news to give
What's your good
everyone a
gaming
little bit
news?
of rekindled hope that there is a future for gamers.
Yo, wait, what the fuck? I spent an hour and a half on Mario Kart last Monday.
We're on gamer news right now. Nicole?
Awkward.
Yeah, so basically, the Rainbow Six invite, which is the World Championships,
Oh,
concluded.
cool. So only you care. My bad.
No, this just wait. It's not necessarily. It's not just
No,
about that. But
I'm
basically,
sorry. Continue. This is
the
interesting.
the invite, which is the World Championships, concluded over the weekend. It ended on Sunday. And while they were doing a tribute to one of the casters who passed away last fall, they super sneakily snuck out this little press thing about the upcoming like locations for the next majors, which are just like, I don't know what the equivalent would be like for league, but not the World Championships, but like a smaller event.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have that. They have more like there's like two, each region has like tournaments kind
Okay.
of,
So they're
and then there's like two big international things.
yeah, so they're kind of tournaments. Like they're in a specific country. Like there's a Mexico major, a Sweden major, stuff like that. But they change locations. And basically what they snuck out was that one of the upcoming locations was going to be in the UAE, which, if any of you know, they do not have the greatest stance towards gay people.
Or women.
In fact, they are rated second to last on some random list of countries
What's
that
the
like
last?
gay people. The two above them and the one in last are literally like barely functioning countries. So it's really not good that they're down there. But basically they sort of like it, they, whether or not they were trying to sort of hide it, basically when they released it, it didn't get a ton of attention right away. But as soon as it did, people were like, hey, you've got some, you know, some trans casters, and you've got all these people in your community that are really going to be impacted if you hold an entire event in this country. Like, what are you going to do about it? And enough people, whether it was signing a petition or just, you know, direct, like messaging them, sending them emails or whatever, in today's Tuesday. So in 2 days, they got them to completely abandon the UAE major and begin pursuing holding it in a different location. So
Let's
Interesting.
go.
a dub for the gaming community and a fat L for the Emirates, which should really get up on the times, because
They should hold on
goddamn,
to
I
that.
looked up some of their laws
should.
and that shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's great for women to go there either. I don't
Oh,
think
it's not good for anyone unless you are a man.
So
And rich. I
And-
feel like being rich is like
You have to be pretty
actually
rich.
required.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have to wear like
You have to wear the one that is like, I don't know the name
only
for
the
it, but,
eyes. The
but
Yeah,
part-
it's
what you
the
have-
eyes that's covered too. It's got to be
What you
covered
have
by,
going
like, a
on
little
right now,
veil.
Nicole, we're gonna have
They
to
would
redo
not
the
like
whole
that.
thing. We're gonna have to tear down a wall and paint the floorboards black and make the walls white so it feels like a more open space. Really not
What?
digging.
I think they're wanting a more
Wait,
closed
yeah,
space.
wait.
Dude's using a house as
Alright.
a me metaphor. You
I
comparing me
just-
to a house?
I just
That's
immediately-
objectifying.
I just went to the HGTV fix for every single like thing. That's how they fix everything. They're like, this bathroom feels small. We're gonna take down a couple walls, paint everything white. The floorboards are gonna be a very rich dark brown. I'm like,
Why are the houses in those shows always so ugly afterwards? That's what I want to talk about.
afterwards?
Yeah, they always look fucking horrendous.
Well, I wouldn't say ugly. I just said it doesn't feel comfortable. Like I would
It
not
doesn't
be
look like
comfortable
home.
in
I
that
don't like a
house.
new renovation.
Yeah, I'd be
I want the
like,
house to be
"Ugh."
shitty.
I would say that.
I
would
like
say
my
some-
houses.
I want to feel in danger walking around
You
my
need,
house.
you need some
I
charm.
want there to be a food hazard in very close vicinity to my bed.
I want to have to fight
Hold on.
wild
You
animals.
got that already.
I know I do.
Is there anything in your fridge that is edible? Is not past the
No.
expiration date?
No.
You've got a biohazard close
Oh
to
my
you.
god! I had like a full gallon of soup that went bad, and I just left it there because I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
bought-
I've thrown out a pan before because I didn't want to clean it.
I bought 48 eggs from Costco.
Why
Or,
the
like,
fuck
whatever-
would you do that?
No, one of those like okay, they're like the cardboard egg cartons, like open face, and then they just put another one of those on top, and then they put like
Yeah.
a plastic egg cover. I bought one of those, a lot of eggs. I'm almost through all of it, and it's taken about like 2 to 2.5 weeks to get through all that.
How long
So
until
I
the
eat a lot
eggs
of
go
eggs.
bad?
Eggs
I,
don't go
Eggs
bad
last
fast.
3 to 4 weeks.
I'm looking
No,
that
no,
shit
no.
up
So-
You
so
know the
often.
technique? If you put an egg in cold water and it floats, it means you shouldn't eat it.
That's good to
Uh,
know. That's
do you know
really
what,
good
do you
to
know what
know.
I did? I got a tub of cold water and I got through the first tray of eggs, right? And I'm like, okay, now I need to know about the second tray. So I put all of those in cold water, and the water rose way too much and spilled over. Anyway, uh, all my eggs were on the bottom. None of them were even like trying to float up a little bit. They weren't trying to like do a bobber
No floaters?
situation. So they're all good.
No
They're all
floaters.
good. Um, I'd be making this oven fries like roasted potatoes with like an
Imagine having an oven that works.
I hate ovens.
What
Oh,
happened? What was your oven experience recently?
I was baking potatoes. Literally nothing was burning, but just smoke everywhere. It was
Oh,
fucking miserable. I was moldy.
oh,
Then I put them in
I
the toaster oven. Goated appliance. Top one.
I have
mhm,
never had a
mhm.
toaster oven, and I always want one. I always get so jealous when people have toaster ovens because I love them.
so
Yeah.
They're
here's the
so
thing.
cool.
Original air
was-
fryer.
When I was staying at my friend's house over in the
Mid fryer.
the bougie area,
Yes.
Yeah.
they only have a toaster oven and then like 2 normal ovens. They don't have a microwave,
Too.
which
Oh.
they be making a lot of stuff. I don't know. But basically,
Be rich.
I need to
He
put
was-
everything in the toaster oven.
he was gone, so it was only me in their house, and he was like, "Yeah, there's like some like frozen tamales or something in the thing. Like make yourself whatever." And I was like, "I think that I can make frozen tamales." It's like I think that my level of culinary skill has at least passed the frozen tamale. And so I look at it. I'm like, all right, let's make this. And I had two packs of them, 2 in each. And I look at the back and it says there were 2 instructions. There was microwave instructions and then steam instructions.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, we don't have a microwave. I can probably put this in the toaster oven.
Yeah.
So I put the first one in the toaster oven. And what I got was a baked tamale, which wasn't necessarily bad. It was just really not good and not what I was going for with the tamale. The outside was like really not the husk. I know not to eat the husk, but the rest of it.
Something was weird. It was really chewy. It tastes really good.
But the outside of the tamale, inside the husk, was also kind of like stuck together and chewy because I had baked it.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, that wasn't very good. I'm still hungry. I've got another pack. I don't have a steamer, but I think I know how to steam. But I was like, and just to make sure, I'm going to look it up. And it said, you boil some water, you put something in it so the food isn't under the water, and you like have it above the boiling water with a lid on it, like all that stuff. And I was like, I got this. I can do this. This is also while I was watching Kill La Kill for the last episode. So I fill up a pan with put some water in it. I find this weird metal grate that they've got that sits perfectly in the pan above the water. I put the tamales in there. I start the water boiling, and then I go watch Kill La Kill. And then at some point in time after I started watching Kill La Kill, I was interrupted by their fire alarm system going off extremely loud. And it was all linked together. So once one started going off, they all started going off. And it was like our smoke detectors they work fine. When they beep, I know, but it's not too loud. These were ear-splittingly loud, and there were so many of them all over the house, and I could not find out how to turn them off. And I ended up grabbing this weird thing that was like a handle with a spring and then a golf ball on the end of it. And I was reaching up at this tall ass ceiling trying to press the button on one of them. But because all I had was a golf ball on a spring, it was probably the worst tool I could have used to press this tiny ass button. And I finally went around all the rooms that had a smoke alarm in them and managed to press the spring enough to get it to actually press the button. And then I walk over to the stove to discover the culprit, which was all the water had boiled off. And then I had just baked the shit out of this pan and the tamales that were sitting on top of it. And so not only did I not get my steamed tamales, but I had to throw those 2 away because they were burnt. And so all I got was the really crappy burnt ones, and I almost ruined one of their pans.
Fun.
Lesson
Microwaves,
learned.
don't hate on the microwave until you don't have one. That's what you got.
I never had one.
I feel like you could have just figured out how to use a toaster oven better, or like not fucked up steaming it, or like
Yeah.
attended to the pan at all.
I had to watch Kill La Kill, bro. More
You
important
can
things.
still be in the kitchen.
Priorities.
Why'd you like leave?
It was on the TV.
Great. Oh, okay. That's a
They
little
were
bit-
like connected enough that I felt fine leaving the stove on.
yeah.
Because if I
Yeah.
turned around, I could like see the stove. But
You didn't
evidently
turn
not
around,
enough.
obviously.
Evidently, I didn't turn around and was not close enough to notice the lack of
Do you
water.
do you remember when at the house the oven I put on self-cleaning, and one did not know how long self-cleaning took, and two did not realize it has not been self-cleaned for a long time, and then we had to open every single. Was it in the dead of winter? Did we
It was in
open
the
every?
dead of winter. I remember because it made the kitchen so hot.
It was a sauna, and we had to open all. We opened windows to balance the temperature out. I was so stupid, and I'm so sorry. But like, clean oven.
I thought we had to
like-
open the windows because was smoky everywhere because we
I just
burned
remember it was
everything
it
that
was yeah, it was
No,
hot
I
and
think
it was
just
smoky.
ridiculously hot because the oven had to get to like 600 degrees,
Mhm.
Does-
and it was
does
just that
vaporize
for like
everything?
8 hours.
Does oh yeah, that was you left it up for so long.
I
Does-
thought no, it was self-cleaned. You just let it go.
I have no idea how
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
Does anyone
That-
else not find the idea of an oven not like the least bit really concerning?
It's a little concerning.
That there's like a box that just sits in your house that gets to like 500 degrees.
Yeah.
I never put it to 500 though.
But like
Like
still
Mine was
400,
at 450.
450 is still pretty hot. That's too hot
Yeah.
in my mind for a box to be in my house.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not.
It's a
terribly
metal
bu-
box, all right. Metal
No.
doesn't melt easy.
It checks. It cancels each other out because my oven, the hot box is right next to the cold box,
That's true.
so they cancel each other
Hot
out. So
box.
it's there's
Pop
That's
bomb.
what I did, except
Yeah.
with smoke.
that's what someone in my apartment did, but to my elevator. So
Fun.
I walked into the elevator. I was like, it was a
Just
fun
getting a
time.
secondhand
Gus and
high from the
Daniel,
elevator.
You guys
Yeah, what's
were
up?
on the middle school Eagle Bluff field trip. Daniel, you were in my room, correct? No, it was
No,
August.
I was with
Were you with me?
no, I was with Jack.
Hmm.
You
I
guys
was
were
with
on
Josh.
that.
Yeah.
You guys were
That's
on
a
that trip, though,
combination.
right?
We stayed up late talking. What's up?
You guys were on that trip, though, right?
That's
Yeah.
So
just like a girl sleepover.
Hotboxing
Yeah.
reminded me of this. A couple interesting things happened in our room. Number one, this was about the time, I don't know if anyone else remembers, but the pass out challenge was
Yes.
really
God.
taken
I remember
off.
us at our separate middle school. I did not go to the same middle school. We got like a talking to by staff at our school that was like, kids at Sanford are doing this. You guys should not.
So basically,
It was like a formal thing.
if you don't know what the pass out challenge is, one person, you hyperventilate for like, we did like 45 seconds. I think 30 was enough, but 45 really knocked it out of the park. You also do this while like sitting down and you're bent over, or no, you lay down and do it. You lay down and hyperventilate. And then once you're done, you stand up really fast, plug your nose and hold your breath. And then what we would do to really make sure that you passed out was you do it against a wall so that two people could push on your chest and make sure that you weren't going to sneak a breath in there. And what that does is they do it for like 5 seconds and then you were out cold and you basically just fall flat forward onto your face. And so we were doing, you know, our fair bit of that. And then
That's
one of the
horrible.
guys in our room, Lars, had a can of this Axe body spray, you know, the notoriously bad smelling one. And he was
Mhm.
like, I've got an idea, guys. We're going to prank everyone in this middle school field trip where they somehow let us sleep in dorm rooms by spraying Axe body spray into the ventilation unit. And we are just going to absolutely gas everyone else in this building. Now, we were all like, haha, yeah, that seems like a cool idea. Go ahead, Lars. Not knowing that Lars did not have the function to be able to tell the difference between an intake duct and a venting duct. So what he did was he venting. So he emptied the entire can of Axe body spray into the one that just blew straight back into our room. And for like the next 2 days, I remember we had like alcohol wipes, and we would wipe under our nose with an alcohol wipe so that we couldn't smell or taste anything. And we would all get up really early in the morning with like this splitting headache, and then we would leave and we would go sit in like the common area and just watch as people who were also getting up would walk down the hallway, and they'd get to the spot where about our room was, and they'd all cover their nose with their shirt and then sprint the rest of the way into the commons.
Oh my god.
This
Two
is what
very
comes from
different
being
experiences.
cool in middle school. This is what happens when you're cool in middle school.
We also thought
remember-
someone said he saw an old man outside of our dorm room, which was on the second floor, so
Bro.
mildly concerning. And then we all like it's like these split rooms, like there were 2 bunk beds in each one, and so we were split. And then we saw the old man, or someone did, and we all piled into one of them, and like barricaded our doors shut, and like put a mattress against the window. And then somehow, even though they said we weren't supposed to bring this, somehow August had a knife. And so we were like sitting there, and then one of the chaperones tries to get into our room, and we've got like suitcases piled high and a mattress on the door, and he goes, "What are you guys doing?" And we were like, "Nothing." And he was like, "Cool, I'm gonna need you to move all this stuff." We were like, "All right." And then he left and didn't notice that August had a knife or ask us why we had barricaded ourselves in, but
That's a
Okay.
schizo-affective vibe right there.
Quick thing. August always has a knife, or like tries to bring it everywhere. One
I
time,
feel like it's gonna come in handy for. I feel like he is just like
no,
I think
He
he
has
was just
some
too
sense.
early, because now
there's
I always
something in
have
his.
one. In middle school, I didn't always need one. In
I
fact,
think
I never
arguably
needed
I'm
one.
in more danger than you. I never have a knife.
I feel like you should have one.
I got a
Hey,
knife.
Gus
I
got
keep
his
it
right
on me.
there. Where's mine?
I have
I'd
one
be-
for. I have a box cutter for
I need a
opening
good knife.
boxes, but
This knife is shit.
I just don't have an interest in knives.
Mine is
as
out
well
of
as,
reach
like,
right now.
I want to go
time,
knife shopping soon. Who
I
wants
was
to
at
help
a
me get
I
a
was at
knife?
a summer camp with
let's
August,
go
and
knife
he
shopping.
ordered.
I'm down.
No, keep going, Daniel.
Continue your story.
I was at a summer camp with August, and he ordered on Amazon a knife and like just some other random things to the camp. But I'm pretty sure we left the camp before they arrived, so that he just didn't get them or something like. I'm like,
Why do you have his phone at camp?
I don't know why he's ordering shit to camp. Like, I don't get that in my brain. I'm like, just you own these things, but you're ordering them to camp. Just remember them next time, or like you don't
Get it
need
a
them that
candle.
much. Yeah, like I don't know what.
You guys want to know what was the start of my villain backstory?
What was your villain arc?
Gus, remember when we went to that climbing and sailing camp?
Remember when we
do.
killed someone?
They said it was a 2-week camp, and they said no phones. And so I respected their choice and didn't bring my phone. I also did not tell anyone that I was going to camp and wouldn't have my phone, like everyone did in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted the ego boost of getting my phone and seeing all these messages and being like, "Oh,
You
look at
do that
that."
shit in high school?
No, I don't remember when we did it. Maybe that was high school.
I
It
think
was,
that was
I think
high
it was like
school.
sophomore,
Yeah,
summer before
maybe.
or after. Before
This is more
sophomore year.
embarrassing that you did this in high
Anyways, you know me. So I did that. And then we got back from the camp. And we got in the car and I was like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to get my phone back." I had 0 messages and only like 3 notifications at all. And I gave my mom my phone back. I said, "You can keep holding on to this."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've moved on.
Yep.
I just never get messages like at all. And what bugs me the most when people don't respond within 24 hours of me, or like the same day of me sending the message. If I text you and you don't respond the same day, it's so fucking irritating for me because
Yeah.
I respond in the same day to everything. So I expect that I have that expectation for other people.
Yeah,
I don't
I
get
don't
the
respond the same
stigma
day.
around like not wanting to be on the phone. What I hate is when I text or when I call people. Like let's use Jay for an example. I'll
Mhm.
call Jay and I'll be like, I got to talk to this man. And I will get the quick hang up where I know it didn't ring all the way and it just hangs up mid call. Then I'll get a text that says, "What you need?" And I'm always so pissed. I'm like, just answer the phone. I was going to tell you. It would have been easier too. Now you don't have to wait for me to text it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not
Well,
just him. It's a lot of
They
people.
might be in a place where they can't pick up the phone, but also I 100% agree with that. if I call you, it's because what I'm about to say is annoying to text, and I need to like talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll send a voice memo. I've done that to
Mm.
CC.
I'd be doing those accidentally.
Me too.
Usually
I
a lot of
hate
weird
the
noise.
motherfucking little boxy things. I click on those. How do you get out? I swear to God, I'm like, give me the keyboard back. They refuse.
Did any of you guys ever get that app that like you put it on your phone while you're sleeping and it like has a noise threshold? And I wanted to get it because I wanted to know if I talked in my sleep
I did it.
or if I
did
snored
it.
or something. So
I
I
got
got that. Fun fact: I don't snore, nor do I talk in my sleep. What I do, what I do is fart a ungodly amount every night while I sleep.
That's good to know.
I would wake up to like 16 new recordings, and it would be like 10 seconds of dead air, and then just like one short one, and then nothing else. And it was every single night I would use it. I never talked, I never snored. It was the same every day.
Y'all be using eye masks when you sleep?
No.
I used to
No.
have this weighted one, and it was amazing, and then I lost it, and now
They
I
make
don't.
my eyes feel trapped. I don't like it.
I love it.
But I
Yeah.
do sleep. So I have a story. When I was a kid, my parents really wanted me to sleep with my light off, but I was really stubborn about it, even though like I sleep better in the dark. But they just kept telling me so much, and I was like, no. Now that you're telling me, I'm not gonna do that. So I would always sleep. Like this because I needed the dark to sleep. Because I can't
That
sleep
is the
unless.
stupidest story ever.
But now I
Every
sleep
time
like
I hear
that
that story,
automatically.
I'm like, bro.
Let me
I
take your
already-
story,
Come
but make it
on,
better.
man.
I slept with the light on when I was a kid, but not because I was stubborn. It was because I was afraid of the things that were going to get me in the dark, and so I would have the light on.
See,
Data.
I wouldn't have the light on because I just accept the fact that I will die that night. So I would put the blanket like over, like I'd be completely covered, my whole body except for like the triangle, like the circle around my nose and mouth. And one time my grandma came in while I was like staying at her house, and she thought I was like suffocated underneath the blankets, and she like went to my mom, and my mom was like, "Nah, that's he has a ventilation shaft somewhere." Okay,
Have you
I
guys? Oh
I just
my
do that.
god,
it's comfortable.
massage chairs.
Mm.
I
Never.
cannot physically stay awake on one of those. I lay down and I got my face in that donut, and it's
Yeah.
like, but I can still breathe, and I am out instantly.
See, I've never had a massage.
You miss
Me
Same.
either. Going back to the same August that orders shit to summer camps. He gets massages frequently, or not, maybe not frequently,
I
but
think
like
I
more,
deserve that.
more
I think I
frequently
need
than
one.
Nicole,
We
I
should
don't know
all
if this
go
is-
sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
Yeah.
know if this is a group outing, but we
I
should
think we
definitely
can
go.
do it as a group.
Yo, I had a
Okay.
genius idea.
Yeah.
So on the YouTube channel, we should also make vlogs. We
Yeah.
should like do stuff.
Yeah.
Massage
Thinking about
vlogs.
this. We can go do like travel vlogs. We can do like
That sounds
massage
lit.
vlogs.
You guys want a funny massage story? Actually, a couple of them, because I got a lot of these.
Is this one of the ones where the person getting massaged like jizzes?
No, it's not one. Not one of those.
No, that's one of
Um,
my
Okay,
stories. It was me.
So I will
Nice.
say, I've never had like a feel good massage. The only ones I've had are actually so excruciatingly painful. It's just that it pays off and you feel good afterwards. But first off, they always do the like, the undress to your comfort level thing, right?
Hmm.
Which I don't know what that is.
I just be having the sock.
It So for a while, the first couple that I did, I was like, all right, I'll leave my underwear on. Like, I'm good with that. They can do everything else. I'll maybe like, roll them up a
Work
little bit.
around.
That's all I
Yeah.
got. And then after a while, I was like, this is too much damn work. And so then the problem was they would
Fully
start,
clothed.
they would they would give
Never
us
naked.
they would give us
Never
this
nude.
this towel, but it was like, I don't know, this big. Like, it was basically enough that if I pulled it between my legs, it would just barely come to my waist on either end. and like I could basically lie down with that, and that would be all I would get.
Loincloth.
And turns out it didn't matter because one of the masseuses that we had would always, I would always start face down, and the first thing he would do is come over and just remove it. And they're like, there was no point. I would have that on. I would have the towel on. She would walk over and he'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'd be like, "Good." And he would get rid of it, and that was it. And so I eventually got to the point where I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. But he also had this funny thing he would do, where when he was done absolutely demolishing the muscles on the back of my legs, and you got to flip over so that he can then do the same to the other side of your legs.
Fully tented up. My bad.
Nah, I was the first time I was worried about that, but then I was in way too much pain the whole time to even get like half. Like there was no way.
I'd have to worry about that.
Yeah, if you're into that, that would be bad.
Full muscle pain. Gus is like, hell yeah.
Finally.
But what he would do is, rather than say, as a normal person would, "All right, you can turn over now," he would just slap it, just slap my cheek, and then I would know. I'd be like, okay, that's how I know. That's how I know that I get to turn over now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was this one guy. There was this other guy that we had whose name was Patrick, and he was Polish.
Oh, Patrick.
Patrick spelled Patryk. The funny way to spell Patrick. He was like this 250-pound Polish dude, and he would play like Polish EDM the whole time. And it was like, no, it was not. He also could
Hype massage.
output so much pain onto your legs. But one of the times, in between bouts of extreme pain, I noticed that he had a Switch with him. And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, what do you play on that?" And he was like, "Oh, Mario Kart." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Are you any good?" And he was like, "I'm like top 400." And I was like,
That's
Damn.
decent. That's decent.
so yeah, he was pretty good. Those
That's
are all my
like-
massage
Go
stories.
Patrick.
Those are all
Yeah,
my
I
interesting
need a
ones.
massage now.
I need a massage too. I think we should do a massage. I want a nice one though. I'm sorry. I don't want to feel pain.
I don't want that either. I want to get a
There's-
nice one at some
There
point.
was someone I was trying to date. I should just say my crush. I had a crush at a time that was really good at massages. You probably know them, but I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
I
okay.
guessed.
hand massage and like
Dude,
shoulders and back.
They used to give me the best. We'd be sitting in U.S. history, and they
Mhm,
sat behind me, and they would give me these massages behind my ears,
mhm.
and I'd just be sitting there like trying to pay attention. But it was the nicest, and like the back of the neck and the hair. Oh,
Let me be honest.
best
I got-
experience.
I got one. I was
Lovely.
super hyped like before going into it. Afterwards, I still felt hyper sore and I just had like sharp stinging during the entire thing, but it was the most calm, like mentally calm, body was screaming and like pain. So cuz like my back
She was just.
never
like,
got a
She was
massage.
so gentle. My back is gonna hurt. I have a shoulder
yeah.
thing. I think I
your
might have a
back-
pinched
Daniel,
nerve.
your back got a massage years ago when I jumped on it and did a 360.
Holy shit. You're absolutely right. I don't know why we were in the position of me laying flat on the ground and you standing on my back. Did you even have like a board or anything, or
I
was
think
it just
you were just laying there and I stood on you and I was like, I'm gonna do a 360. And then I just did it and you were in extreme pain.
Yeah, that hurt so badly. Like maybe that messed up my posture for the rest of my life. I don't
What
know.
is it like to have the brain of a teenage boy? This is
This was not teenage. This was
No,
elementary
Just
school.
3 weeks ago.
Another really fun story with Nick is that I think it was Magic or some other game, and you drew a hand with the middle finger, right? Like you drew this on a piece of paper, and I was mad at you, so I grabbed the piece of paper and I tried to find your mom. I was trying to find your mom and be like, look at what Nick just drew, like a complete other asshole.
Oh,
I
like
was,
a,
I
like a
was just gonna do
snitch.
that, and then you're like, "Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! I'm sorry!" And then like you brought me back to the.
Oh
I
my
didn't give it to
God.
her. Yeah.
I
Nick
did
and I
what?
used to hang out a lot.
I don't know, does
Daniel,
that
you
show
were a
up?
snitch.
Can you guys see? Is there like a little dot that you guys can see. Oh, right
Reflection?
Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
Oh,
look. You see,
dude, I'm like the Hulk.
you see that little gray dot? You can't see it
I'm
very
like,
well, but on
Hulk.
Discord you can maybe see it. You see that?
Yes.
It's very faint, but it's there.
Peep, peep.
Years ago. Oh.
Like, wow.
Bro, you gotta warn me. I'm
You
crazy.
guys
Oh,
aren't
of
ready
it.
here. You guys aren't ready here.
All right, let's see, Nicole.
Look at that shit.
Oh,
Okay, now
Oh
flex.
my god.
Oh shit.
Guys, stop.
So basically,
You're gonna inflate my ego.
my brother
I'm
and
salivating right now.
my brother and I were drawing these comic strips, you know, as you do when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And
done
he
that.
drew one, and I drew one, and I said, "Yours sucks." And what he did was he took his pencil and he scribbled all over mine.
You
And
killed
so
him.
what I did was I, in return, scribbled all over his. So right now we're at equal exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
No,
you're not. No. You said his sucked.
Ah, that's fair. So then this next part was justified because what he
Yep,
then
yep.
proceeded to do was stab me in the arm with said pencil, and that little gray dot is the lead from said pencil that is still in there.
No way that's still in there.
It is.
That's happened to me too. I've seen people.
I have
do
a
that.
splinter in my foot from
I have
long
a story
time ago.
like that. I got a story like that. So basically, the other day, I was at a place, right? And
Shit, bro.
he
These
had this
details.
thing and it had ink in it. And then I got left with that.
Bro.
That's the exact
That's
same
tough.
story.
That's all good and cut out. That was such a bad story.
Nicole just like walked into an alleyway and then was unconscious and woke up with a sick tattoo. It's like, what the fuck?
While
I
we're on
was
the
No way.
splinter
Who
and
stabbed me?
while we're on the
specifically splashed ink and boom.
Bro, I want to. Okay, weird side thing. I just thought, imagine like a tattoo knife where you stab someone, but like they get a tattoo.
that's called a scar.
No, I was just thinking of like really obscure like ability,
A cool
like,
new kind of tattoo.
anime
It's a
abilities.
scar.
Because I know there's like a healing gun in like some video games where you shoot someone and they actually heal from it, and then like just a bunch of other shit. I was like, what? Tattoo knife. You stab someone and they get a tattoo, and it hurts, but there's no wound.
While we're on the topic of
I'm onto something.
splinters and tattoos and such, when I was in
Yeah.
kindergarten, you know they had those like yellow blocks that you would play with?
Yeah.
I was playing with one of those, and somehow I got a splinter of the yellow wooden block under the nail of my thumb.
Oh.
But not like it was
no,
just
no,
like
no, no,
kind
no.
of pointing in there, like it was fully
No!
under, and I could
No!
like see it through my fingernail.
Oh no.
And I remember it hurt a lot, and I was like running under cold water. I don't know, it wasn't coming out that way. But basically, it never showed up ever. So unless it
Your body
completely
ate it.
vanished in my thumb, there's still a little piece of wood in there.
Converted it to energy for my body to use. That'd be
Has
hype.
anyone here ever broken a bone?
No.
Nope.
Damn.
W.
I mean, like,
always-
kind of.
I'm always
maybe
curious.
a.
No, we're not counting like toes,
Okay.
because I
Nothing.
definitely think
Because
I've
I
broken
was
a toe
gonna say
before.
when I got hit by that car / when I walked into the car
Yeah,
in
you
freshman
you
year of
always
high
be
school.
saying I got hit by a car. Didn't you just not walk in front of it?
Yeah,
and it just rolled over
and
your
I
foot?
did take out their mirror too, so I think it was even.
That was this. Okay. Back to August. Another story. Remember, we were all in the same class and he stabbed himself?
I do remember.
So-
that.
Dumb boy.
This individual was. Okay. We can. No. It's fine. Everything's fine.
He can never listen.
Kate had a box cutter, right? I think. Did we have a sub that day? Do
Probably.
you remember?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yes,
Who
you were
knows?
not in this class.
I'm just talking to Gus. So Kate had this box cutter and she was going, "Ugh," and then she's like opening it and closing it. And I was like, "Can I have that?" And she's like, "If you can get it." And she's like, they're like passing it around and she like keep away while she's still opening and closing the knife. And August goes to grab it, just like on the top of it, like just here's the open knife. And he just grabs it, and then he's like, "Kate, you stabbed me." I'm like, "Y'all are playing with an opening, like a box cutter that is opening and closing repeatedly. You are both fucking idiots." Like,
Their minds, the
The-
genius.
it was, and they just kept blaming each other. Like, Kate's like, "You stabbed yourself," and August's like, "You stabbed me." I'm like, "You are both playing with an open knife." You are both invalid.
My
My group for that project was awful, Gus. And I
my
mean that if you're listening to this and you were in that group, you were bad. You were bad
What?
at your job.
Damn.
he will
Let me
not
tell you,
elaborate.
my group was worse. And like, don't get me wrong, I did not participate either.
Mhm.
I failed that class for 2 quarters.
My brother
COVID
Daniel,
was a
speaking of stabbing yourself.
Yeah,
My brother
sure.
has a funny story about some kid in his engineering class. You know when you make that thing where it's marshmallows and toothpicks and you try to make
Yeah.
a tall tower? So he
Oh,
made one of
no.
those. And then for whatever reason after he made it, he was like, "I'ma smash it." And he did that and put the toothpick completely through his palm.
That's crazy.
I'm just imagining
Actually,
the-
like missing every bone.
Honestly,
Didn't your
That's
brother also
impressive.
Oh yeah,
consume
he also
a liquid in one of his
drank
classes?
a whole like class-made battery acid. Do you know that story, Daniel?
Yeah, I do. He went to
That
This
story is
so
horrifying.
funny.
Yeah, so they were doing the like make your own battery thing.
Mhm.
And so, part of it is you've got like the pennies and like all the copper strips and everything. But the battery acid, it looks like Gatorade. And so this is what I remember from him telling the story is he said to his teacher, "What would happen if I drank this?" And this was Mr. Alate, so he has like this thick Jamaican accent. And what he said was, "You would probably not feel very good." Which he's not wrong, but also sort of doesn't grasp the gravity of the situation of drinking battery acid.
Mhm.
And so what Jack did was drink it, obviously. What else would you do?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
That's what Jack do.
and then proceeded very quickly to not feel very good. And then he went to the bathroom and, as any normal human body would, throw up because you just drank battery acid. But in the process of doing so, did it so violently that he burst most of the blood vessels in his face. And so I remember I had gotten off school early, and when he came home, his face was just like a blueberry. And my mom was like, "We're going to the ER." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "See ya." And I was like,
Home myself.
did
Let's
he
go.
Oh my god.
You know what? At least he has that story now. That's a
Yeah.
good story.
Yeah.
he also didn't tell my mom, or she didn't find out until like last year. Like somehow throughout that whole thing, he didn't mention what had happened.
Honestly, good on him.
Yeah,
For real.
Yeah.
she probably would have been more pissed.
Oh, for sure. She
'Cause that's
was when she
really-
found out.
Yeah. Because that's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Alright.
Daniel, obviously you need to sleep. I think we can.
I
Start,
I
need
do
to
too. Excuse you.
we can start to wrap
I
this
need
up.
to sleep. Nicole,
meantime-
you want to sleep. I need to sleep.
I'm okay.
Before-
I
We are
can be
not
up
the
as late as
same.
I need for my 8 a.m. tomorrow.
That's good.
Before we leave,
Yeah, what's up?
two of us have yet to pick a show. For
It is
In
you
2
and
weeks.
Gus.
so I don't know, Gus, how we want to pick this. I don't know if you've got one planned out or not.
Let me. A show?
A show. I mean, you could pick a
Let me-
movie, but I'm gonna pick a show. Or I
Okay,
picked out a
I
show
have
for
less
mine.
movies than shows.
Yeah, and what
Uh,
we're saying 20.
If you have like
episodes about?
anything,
I've got one that I would like you guys to watch
let
if
me
we want to
see.
do that for next one.
The entire
Otherwise-
Monogatari series.
No,
By
in fact,
Sunday.
it is 24 episodes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Is all good. I've got one.
Mm-hmm.
Or in 2 weeks from now, to join Nicole on the boat of not everyone enjoying the show,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have all of us watch Initial D First Stage.
Oh, thank God.
You know, I was worried, and this was sort of like middle of the pack. Like,
All I know is
I
I'm
can
gonna be
live with it.
bored. All I know is I'm gonna be bored. I'm sorry. I'll find some value in it.
Let me
I'll say
let me let
something
me
nice.
let me shoot a question out there before, just to test the waters.
Mm-hmm.
How do you all feel about Eurobeat?
Fine.
It's okay.
All right.
Is that like what the fuck is it?
Is it like
the
Ethan
genre
music?
of music? No, Ethan music
Okay,
is
okay.
not good. Eurobeat is like, you know the Deja Vu song?
Yeah,
That
is it
over
like
and
the
over again.
shit that we were listening to when we were going down like the hills in
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That was banging.
That's
Okay.
Eurobeat. So
All I know is the Euro step.
You should
the
have just
basketball
said that.
move.
okay.
You should have just
Well,
said
the
that.
shit that we were listening to when we raced that fucking pickup truck down that hill.
That was the widest pickup
The
truck.
dumpy truck?
Remember? I just remember the dumpy
That
truck.
thing was so
Remember how
wide.
the whole time there was that like tiny ass Toyota Yaris that was like consistently a corner behind everyone, but just never any further back?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Dedication.
Anyways, yeah. So I will send a link. I think some of it is on Netflix. We're not watching the movies because
Okay.
I don't want us to have to
Okay.
watch movies again. We're watching the first show.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Unpopular opinion, we should watch Bakemonogatari at some point.
perhaps
Yeah.
you can wait until your
Unrelated
turn
topic.
comes around again.
I might make that my second one.
Should we have a guest episode?
Yes.
Because
Mm.
I have
Um,
someone who's
When you guys
interested.
have guests, give either them my number or me their number, because I've got a Google thing with the people that we've talked to so far and like what episodes they want to be
You
on.
know, I
Add to his
was always
harem.
like, I was, I was like, Nick, why is Nick in charge of the podcast? Like, it's our podcast, but at the same time, it is our podcast. Nick is just doing the boring work, and I just get to talk for a long
Thanks,
time.
Nick.
And I really appreciate that. Shout out,
Well,
shout out, Nick.
When you
His
Shout
guys
out Nick
address
for doing the
is-
hard part for
His
editing.
address is.
shout out Nick. Here's his social security number.
And
Here is
credit
his
card
identity.
number.
Feel free to steal it.
Shout out,
You want
bro,
to
shout out.
become him? Here you go. Yeah.
I'll try to watch that and Mushoku Tensei season 2, and
Yes.
I will have good, valid criticisms and probably a little bit of praise. Because honestly, I'm not that picky. I'm just very against like the first season. But we'll
I'm
come
here
around.
to
We'll come around.
root
Yeah.
for it.
A
I
little
actually liked
interesting
it,
note for you,
so-
Daniel. If you
Mhm.
want something else to think about while you're watching it, that's not
Yeah,
the show
sure. I'll
itself.
think of like happy thoughts.
The studio that did the animation for it
Mhm.
was actually created specifically to adapt only that light novel, at least so far.
Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, well that wraps up today.
If you've made it this far, all of us at Subtitled Opinions want to extend a huge thank you to all of you who listen to the podcast. Just as a reminder, if you want more Subtitled Opinions, make sure to check out our Twitter @SubtOpinions and our YouTube Subtitled Opinions for updates on episodes, topic ideas, and general news about the show. See you all next week. Cheers.